and 1. Hello, and welcome along to the first streamed episode of Beldania. It is, however, the third episode of Beldania, and for that reason, in a moment, we are going to recap episode 1 and 2. But before we do that, today I have playing with me, Jamal.
Hey guys, Jamal here. I am playing Kiavo of the Duskmane Pride. Kiavo is a Leonin wizard, and what's his spell school preference again? I've forgotten because I'm thinking of Cadmus.
As yet, he's just a wizard.
Yeah, I was thinking Cadmus for a second. I'm like,
Nope.
oh, I'm confused.
Just a wizard.
Yeah,
Cool.
just a wizard for now.
I have Rico.
Hi, I'm Rico, and I will be playing Thorin Goldenbrand, a dragonborn paladin who just wants to make his daddy proud.
Oh, I have Bruno.
Hi guys, I'm playing Natasha Ayelet today, who is a life cleric, who wants to learn how to be a better cleric. That's it.
She wants to learn how to be useful. Yeah, she's getting there. The slow, steady journey as yet. And I have Jodai.
That would be me, and I am playing Hennick Littlefield, a humble farmer, halfling, and burgeoning bard.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Oh, not so, James. You forgot to introduce me, you big cunt.
Oh, and I have Josh. Sure, I started with Josh, didn't I? I was meant to start with Josh. That was on my list. Josh!
Hi, I'm Josh. I will be playing Sebastian Belmont, whether some people like it or not.
For future reference, if you're going to forget somebody, one of your players at the table, don't forget your husband. House dog. Anyway, I was meant to start with Josh because I knew that at the end of the characters, I would be coming back to Josh. Because before we do any recapping, we are going to return to a moment in last session where our DM fucked up.
Oh.
And
Shock
the moment
horror.
was when I said to Josh, "Does a 21 hit you?" And he said, "Yes." And I should have then turned around and said, "As the arrow comes towards you, you focus, and you see the images of your abjuration book that you had studied for so long come to mind scrolling before your eyes. And as you reach into yourself and you unleash an unfamiliar form of magic, a shield of pure magic appears in front of you, held out in front of your hand. Now, how does this shield look, Sebastian?"
It's like a silvery shimmer, like almost like you don't really see it until like something it like hits it, and then it like shimmers.
Right. Okay. So it's almost invisible. It's just a thin shield, but however, it did
It
take
kind
the
of has
arrow
to
out.
be because it'll be up all the time.
Yeah. But it you do, however, see it come into light briefly as the arrow hits it and dissipates. And you may now take your subclass, Abjuration Wizard, that I told you to take at the end of last episode because I fucking forgot. Okay. However, my recapping's fairly boring, so instead, I'm going to hand over to our resident bard. Just bear with me 1 second. Cool. I'm going to hand over to our resident bard, who's going to tell you what happened in episode 1 and 2 that weren't streamed.
Well, I'm not full sure I'm going to remember all the details of these adventures of our common band, but if you've followed their introductory adventures, you know a little bit about us. We got myself, a bard. We got the others who've you've heard from just this morning, and we all come from the small village of Sandringham. And it's not too far back. A bit of adventure crept up on the outskirts of town. We had the mayor's daughter going missing. Her fiancé come back to town screaming. In fact, with Thorin taking a look for anybody who might be able to help him go look. And we all went out and had some adventures in the mountains, had some terrors, had some scares, had some close calls, and quite a few monsters. But we come to find all those monsters were being orchestrated by, unfortunately, one of our own. A man who had taken his own shine to Meralda, the mayor's daughter, and well, he had used these monsters to try to grab her up and keep her for his own. We saw to that. And When next we got together, when Meralda herself called us all together, surprisingly, I was a bit, I would have had more hospitality ready, but Meralda called us together at my house, and I played us a little song about our first adventures there that I might like to recount for you all right now for the record. And now I tend to accompany this with a little bit of my jaw harp here, and we'll try that again. So. We were backing up the long-lived ranger to help a neighbor in mortal danger. The townsfolk were no strangers to doing what they had to do. If you asked, I'm sure they'd say it was just another day of facing what's in their way and getting through. Outside the village, trouble looms, jumped up, kindling, screaming mushrooms, goblins, ogres, and other dooms, but the source, we might have known. Whether freeing the captured mayor's daughter or capturing the one who caught her to serve justice for the way he sought her, small town folk like us take care of our own. Well, she called us all together because she wanted us to do one more thing for her, seeing how well we'd taken care of things up in the mountains. And it seems that, much as I find it difficult to understand, Meralda's not too interested in small town life, and so she asked us to asked us all to see her to the city. And we did. We gathered together. We piled up some things on my cart, my donkey Black Radish, and we headed off first to the crossroads. A little bit of scroll shopping and meeting with a bit of a soothsayer there. Get a bit of information what we could. She had a special message from Meralda herself, a reference for a job in the big city, and so we headed off to Harbondon. But didn't make it too much farther before we encountered one of them manufactory merchants in his fine robes, who had come afoul of some brigands along the road. Well, they needed tending to, one way or the other. And so that's what we did. Battle, carrying various things. And as we found ourselves in a cleared battlefield, well, cleared, there's still some of these folk we got to take care of here that tied up in front of us, or at least frightened out of fighting. I thought I would give us a little bit more verse for what has just gone on. And so, travelin' cityward, see the blind oracle, find out what signs she's heard, good place to start. Vanquishing highwaymen, some folks reluctantly, healing 'em up again, both in good heart. Victim and miscreant, both in their finery, radiance heaven sent, tore one apart. Aid satisfactory, merchants true gratitude, loot, manufactory, state of the art. And from there, we're going to pick up our adventures once again, folks.
Aid satisfactory with the manufactory. That's a line. Fantastic. Hennick is available for hire, 2 silver pieces of verse. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for doing that.
Not a trouble at all.
And with that,
Only 2 silver pieces.
per verse. You want a 3-verse song? You want a 3-verse song? You know it's going to cost you.
Should be per line.
Yeah, I know. This man spits fire.
However, we do pick up exactly where he said we would, which is in the cave. As you are currently using the rope that Aldrich has given you to tie up the prisoners, the bandits that you kept alive in the cave downstairs. Aldrich has brought down 2 bandits from the last 2 bandits, from up above the cliff top, where they were archering at you. How rude. What are you going to do with all these prisoners? Leave that up to you. Aldrich turns to you. Oh, that's the last 2. What next? Well, come on, don't all speak at once.
Well, I suppose that we should bring these men to justice.
By which you mean take them somewhere to be justiced, right?
Well, I
not
said
one to deal law in my own hands.
Yes, perhaps we can bring them to Harbondon.
Oh, that helps.
Were they going to travel with us?
What did you ask, Josh? Sorry, I didn't hear a word of that.
I said, how are they going to travel with us?
How are they going to travel as well? I'm guessing we must have them walk behind the cart. Slowly in a line, all tied together. Inconvenient.
Yeah, if any of us can walk it, certainly the folk who don't deserve much special treatment ought to be able to walk it.
Hmm.
Here, here, Henrik.
However, a rest is in need before we move on to Harbondon. I certainly need one. We just want to leave them tied up and hope that they don't manage to break their bonds during the night.
Well, I guess we come to the part as a group where we're going to have to learn about setting watch. At the very least.
It would be
Ah,
good to watch the prisoners. I have a special edition tent from the manufactory that will tell me if any hostiles come into the area, but it will not tell me if any prisoners escape their bonds. So a watch will be necessary. I'm more than happy to take the first watch.
Well, let's say we pull up that rope ladder and put your tent at the mouth of the cave, and then suppose perhaps if those folks try to escape and they come in range of your tent, they might tell us a little something.
That will only work if they have the intent to attack us.
Ah, I see then. Yeah, I think they've probably gotten over the intent to attack us, but that
For
don't mean they're
reference,
going to
it
take care
warns
of
him of
anybody else.
danger, and I think
Sure.
a running away prisoner is probably not very dangerous.
true.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to take the first watch. Will anyone take the second? Natasha? That was your name, right? Thank you. I'd appreciate it. And then we need 2 more.
I'll take the third watch.
Excellent, Torin. And the last watch of the night.
I'm happy to take the early morning. I'm usually up early to tend the crops in the sunlight, so...
Lovely. And for yourself, young bard. Brilliant. Well, I do wish that I could give you one of these tents as a reward for your services. However, it is keyed to work only to me. He's attuned to it. Nevertheless, I did say that reward was promised. Please, you first. Torin, any particular reward from my cart that you might take?
Well, Thorin has a look around, and he definitely noticed the dueling cane on Alduic's hip. It's
Yes.
quite
The posh sticks, my favorite.
quite posh, yeah. But I think that inevitably, Thorin would hover over the bucklers sitting there, even though they were extremely tiny compared to him. I think he would likely pick one up and say, "This will do fine."
One handheld shield. Excellent. And you, young lass? Yeah, you're the only girl.
I just don't think she's used to people referring to her other than ordering drinks.
Well,
Um,
referring he is doing. Yes.
Yeah, I'll approach. I'll bow to him.
No, not necessary. It is you that saved me, not the other way around. Now, what can I give you?
She'll kind of like look over and like ponder a little bit. And I think her eyes will fixate on the shield, and then she'll kind of look up at him, and then just very gently, like, glance her hand over towards the shield.
Ah, the manufactory bucklers. These are excellent. They're shields for all the common man, and they're nice and light and easy to maneuver, but good for disarming a vicious opponent. Excellent, it's yours. She looks to Chiavo. He looks to Chiavo, sorry. Anything I can give you, budding wizard?
Do you happen to have one of those robes?
No. Not on the list.
They're not?
Nope.
They are, James. You added them.
Oh, you
Did
added
I add the
them, didn't you?
robes?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
added
added them at the end.
Yeah, you
Yes.
did, yeah.
Kind
I
of
added them at the
fuckers
end.
over.
Oh, sure, yes, most definitely.
Wow.
Robes.
scam.
A favourite of the travel around the wizard. Please. Yeah, they will fit to your size, whichever size you are. He sort of looks up at you and hands it upwards. And
I'll try it on and see how it goes over my shoulders.
so as you go to pull it down, it just expands and expands and expands like a tent, and then once it gets over you, it just fits to you nicely. Pulls in. It's clever like that.
Awesome.
And you, young wizard?
Sebastian is currently head deep in either a sack or a crate, whatever his belongings are.
Okay. What are you going to pull out?
Well, the ropes.
Okay, brilliant. These are of a similar color to the ones your mother made for you. And you are able to put them over you, and they expand to perfectly to your size. These are probably the first truly comfortable thing you've worn since your transformation. Although your mother did her best, clothes aren't usually designed for cats. However, this robe has fitted itself perfectly to you. It is, well, it is warm but not hot, so it's still wearable over the fur, and it will also keep you dry, which is nice. And finally, she looked. Why has he changed gender today? Finally, he looks to Hennek and for you, young farmsman.
Well, my gender fluid friend, I have.
Sorry.
The cat.
James hates gender fluid people confirmed.
There's no rim shot like a cat attack. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, she's vicious.
I'll be back in a second. She missed the
She
back of the chair
is
and landed on my
vicious.
shoulder instead. Claws out. Oh, you were gonna fall on the
Oh.
floor, didn't you? You stupid cunt.
Wow.
All right.
That was epic.
On my t-shirt.
Oh boy.
Shit.
My apologies for interrupting you, Jedi.
That's right. I was still only as far as the joke. No, he basically just looks. I don't know that I'm too interested in any of those fancy duds there, but one of your products I have gotten to hear of pretty good things in my line of work. Yeah, they call it the Farmer's Brew, sort of a weather-resistant potion. I might
They're
take
a
that if
favourite.
you got it.
Oh, yeah, we've got a few of those. And he opens up what is sort of a it's like a crate box, and then as he opens the box, there's layers upon layers of these sort of small, a little bit like satchels. And he hands you one of those, which to you will be a sort of a shoulder bag that sits at your hip. And then he goes to another crate and he opens it and takes out one singular bottle. And he explains that what he's given you is a potion pouch. The manufactory potion pouch. These will fit perfectly any manufactory potions in them. And actually, as an afterthought, he will give those to all of you. Just so that in future, when you buy manufactory potions, you have a place to keep them. So he hands you a bottle that is sort of gold-coloured flask with a pink liquid inside, emblazoned with a cloud and a lightning bolt on it, the universally recognised symbol of the manufacturer's Farmer's Brew potions, or weather resistance potions.
Thank you kindly.
Somebody was about to ask a question. Before I just steamrolled
I was just
through
gonna say, I do remember Aldwick handing me a potion. Is that that's one of the manufactory potions? Right?
Yes, he handed you a manufactory potion of of healing. Sorry, not of health.
Okay.
Yeah, I think something to do with hit die. I can't think off the top of my head, but it will reveal itself.
No, yeah, it is the hit die one, yeah.
I will add that to my inventory.
Yes, you spend a hit die to regain hit points when you drink this potion. It's the one where Jamal got really upset because it's a minimum of 2 healing, even if you have no hit die left and you don't have any constitution modifier. And he really couldn't get his head around that.
No, it's just the wording's awkward. that's
Apparently,
all.
my wording's atrocious. Well, I don't give a shit.
Sorry,
Use the damn
say again.
potion.
It's the one of healing or the one of health? that
One
I
of
received?
healing.
Okay.
Cool. So I might as well explain this potion of healing just while it's here. You spend a hit die. If you don't have a hit die, you will still regain 1 hit point. And you add your constitution modifier. If you don't have a constitution modifier that is positive, you still add 1 health. Cool. With that done, he looks to you all and, well, here's a treat for you. And then he sets his tent up and he gestures for you to head in. It looks about big enough for 2 people.
All of us.
Then in that case, I'll crouch down and
You don't have to crouch. Although it's a 2-person tent, it is about 10 foot tall. It's just not very wide.
so I don't even need to stoop to get in. Wow.
Nope. And as you open the tent
Wow.
flap, you step into a kitchen. This is a well-appointed kitchen with... there is no fire, no kiln as such, but there are plenty of sideboards and stuff to use. You see a large living area to your right. You see a series of bedrooms at the back. And finally, there is a sort of a comfortable lounging area to the left where it opens up to another part of the flap where you can head out for what it appears to be a smoke, sort of smoker's lounge. And as he takes out his pipe and he packs it with pipeweed and sits himself on the edge of one of these sort of they're almost chaise longues, you know, sort of long sofas with only one arm. He lays himself back on one and of all the things I've ever got from the manufactory, this tent has made traveling the wilds worthwhile. Make yourself at home, make yourself comfortable, please. And I'll go set the first watch. And he heads out to keep an eye. As the next couple of hours pass, before you guys take a rest, are we getting any food? Are we getting any dinner?
Yeah, Torn would have gone out with this bow.
Excellent. The bow. Please, roll me a survival check, please.
That's a 12.
Brilliant. So, as you head out, you find yourself a goat. It's a bit of a bastard. It's a bit gristly, and a bit gnarly, but you're able to catch it with an arrow in the side of the neck and drag yon fucker home. I believe...
Swang it over my shoulder.
I believe that... Have I chosen a meat that's not here? I have, haven't I? Brilliant. You can add some venison. Goats have started spewing out venison recently in this world. Nobody has any idea why. I think it's because that was it. I went to look up the name for goat meat. And I never did get back to adding it. So yeah, for now you can just add some venison. That would be enough venison to feed 7 people quite happily.
I'd likely just hand that over to Hennick to toss in the cart and use at his leisure.
Excellent.
Are we gonna cook it?
Yeah, I guess we might need it right now.
Yes, Hennick, I believe you could make a fine meal with this lovely animal.
Yeah, well, there's a surprising amount of kitchen in here. We can take care of that.
Mm-hmm. The one thing you won't be able to do, obviously, is cook the meat in here. It's a tent still, so you will have to use the fire outside. He's not up for you cooking inside his tent. However, he does come over to you, and he says, oh, excellent. I do love me some goat meat. Here, this is always what I put on it. And he hands you a small pouch of rosemary. This being Aldrich. Dick.
Dick.
But he's not. He's half girl now.
He is now almost 3/4 female as he gains a different name consistently. However, with this rocking over the fire, let's take a wisdom check from you, please.
Yeah, sure.
Where did you get?
Can I actually help cooking?
You'd like to help him cook? Yes. Where did we get up to on your cooking skill? I don't seem to have it in your other notes.
I don't think she
mine
has
is
that.
a 3
sorry.
for my.
You're at
for
a
myself.
3, right? Brilliant. So, can I have a wisdom check plus your proficiency modifier? Because you are
okay,
neither
so-
proficient nor, particularly culinary. She's always been more the drink skill in the inn. Natasha, I will take a separate roll from you, please, for this. Again, a straight wisdom check, no proficiency modifier here.
Guidance.
With proficiency.
Yep, you can guide us yourself. That's absolutely fine.
With proficiency, I come to a 21.
A 21 and a 17 from Natasha.
Shit.
18.
18. Okay. So as Natasha, you watch Hennick, with absolute expert hands, salt, pepper, a little bit of rosemary, and goat, braising it over the fire. You begin to learn about the cooking of meats. These smells seem instinctive to you. Like you've been in the inn long enough to know what smells good and what doesn't. And you may take your first point in cooking knowledge. Just as a reference point, can we keep in the notes other notes? Can you guys write down your crafts and the numbers next to them so that I can quickly check them on the sheet? Brilliant. However, what...
Shit, now I'm hungry.
Great. Well, you will get to eat some goat, which is great. Unfortunately, it will be theoretical goat eating, and we shall have to growl for another hour. Nevertheless, I will say this would have given you satisfaction, excellent satisfaction. So you may raise your maximum HP by... What's your... by 4 if you wish, all of you. However, obviously, unless there is an encounter in the night, it'll go by the morning.
How delicious.
It lasts 8 hours, so cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
so
10
you
HP.
can. It's not temp. It's increased to max by technicality, but it only lasts 8 hours. Just like aid.
Okay.
The reason being that otherwise it's gimping your own temp HP systems.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So
So
it is temp HP or
no,
or
it's temporary increase to maximum HP. Like 8. So for 8 hours you will gain 4 maximum HP. However, unless we have an encounter during the night, obviously by the time we get to morning, you'll have none, because it will have run out. Anyway, at this point you're all able to bed down nice and comfortable, and Ulrich will take the first watch, and nothing happens. Second watch, I believe, was Natasha. Natasha, as you begin to take the watch, you're keeping an eye on the prisoners primarily, correct?
Yep.
In the cave, excellent. One of the bandits you see is a female. She has her bow across her lap. She's sort of... It's not very well kept. It's definitely not usable by anybody other than her, really. It's just... It's a flimsy piece of rubbish. But she looks up at you and... There you go. You don't look like much of a jailer to me.
Please don't shoot me.
You don't have any arrows. Your friend took those away. Just like he took all our money. Taken our spot. I've got a family to feed, you know. I'll go back with nothing. They're gonna starve. You're all keeping us pinned in this cave, I guess. For your own safety as much as anything else. You take us to Harbon and we're likely to hang, you know. And, she's being more persuasive than I am. She got a 15 on persuasion.
I mean, good luck trying to persuade any. Oh, God. I don't think you can persuade a PC.
No.
But I mean, if you want to rule it like that, it's totally fine.
I'm rolling to see how persuasive she is being.
Okay.
Because obviously I can only give you the lines.
I mean, if you just say Natasha's persuaded, I'll just say, okay, fine,
No,
she is.
but this just gives you the concept of just how desperate she sounds, is what I'm trying to give you with that. Because I could have said she rolls a 2 and she just sounds like she's lying through her teeth. That's why
I wanna try and use my insight. Like I've explained to you, Natasha is used to like small talk and she knows people. Can I guidance myself? I'll cross my fingers like this behind my back. Guidance and insight. Okay, hold on, because that's an 11. And now with the D4... Okay, that's a 14.
I will tell you the 10 is what you were looking for. Yeah, this woman, as you look at her, you see her body language is sort of... She's led slightly to the side. Although she's got a bow on her lap and she's sort of stroking it, she's got a little hand behind her back. Maybe she's doing something a bit shifty. And as you look down the line, you see that all of them are ready for her to say, you know, go. If you free one of them. Like, she's trying to get you to come close. You realize that most definitely the only plan is to stab you and run. They don't give a shit about anyone or anything. These are nasty folk.
When she specifically said they're going to hang in our Harbonden, was that a lie?
At no point was she lying. She does have a family to feed. Her money has been taken, and she will hang in Harbonden if she is found guilty of murder, which she has definitely attempted on multiple occasions. However, she's definitely a murdering bitch. She definitely doesn't give a shit about that family, and she definitely wants to slit your throat. Your choice.
I mean, there's not really a choice. You're literally saying, like, if you free her, she's gonna kill you. So there isn't even like
the plan would, from their perspective, is probably to do exactly what they tried to do to you on your way through the first time, which was shoot you, stab you, and take everything you own.
Wow. Okay. So, benefit of the doubt. That's Natasha's bond. So I'm going to speak with her, if you don't mind.
Okay. She looks up at you. Yeah. You're a...
I'm not gonna get
girl,
closer,
right?
by the way. I'm not getting
That's fine.
closer.
You're a gentle girl, right? Town girl. Village girl, maybe.
Yes, but I'm also a very fast learner, and just because I'm a bit quieter doesn't mean I can scream. I've grew up in an inn my whole life. So I would be careful with what you're preparing to do, because right now I am giving you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not sure that my fellow companions will extend that kindness if you attempt to attack us again.
Clever girl. Clever girl. And with that, she sort of... You see her hands are tied, right? One hand is tied behind her back, but they have left one hand free. So each of them are tied together.
Yeah.
By their hand behind their back. They've left one hand free so the prisoners can eat and drink, because otherwise, that would just be torture. And she sort of reaches down and flicks something off the ground towards you. It is not really a dagger as such as it is a small piece of rock, like a bit of shale. She catches you. It does 2 piercing damage.
Oh, she's trying to hit me?
Oh, yeah. She hit you because Laura hit you. It's a Twitch chat redemption.
Okay.
However, she does try and flick a dagger at you. That was going to happen regardless. And she sort of looks at you and... Pity, I'd hoped you'd be the helpful one. Alright, well... You see, she turns to the guy next to her.
Kind of sucks she did that, because I was actually going to let her free.
Ooh. Well, that would have been suicide, so I'm quite pleased that you didn't. And as your turn to take the rest comes up, Torin.
Can I just relay to Torin what
That's
they're
what I was
planning?
going to say. Torin comes and sits next to you.
Okay.
Be my guest.
Hello.
Good morning, Natasha. Good morning, prisoners.
It's really late for me. I still haven't slept.
Yeah, you should go and get your rest.
By the way, she threw a rock at me.
A rock at you.
Yeah. They were trying to escape. I tried to make them be nicer, but they just didn't want to do that. So I guess their own fate, right?
Did it hurt?
No.
Which one? Which is the one that threw the rock?
It doesn't really matter. I think the only thing that it hurt it was my feelings.
Oh, there, Natasha. Not all can be saved.
It's just a shame that these people are going to be hung once we get to Harbondon. I don't think that's the best way to go about things.
Hung, you say?
Yeah, they're gonna
Interesting. Who told you this?
Oh, they did, and I'm pretty insightful, so I don't think that they're lying.
Oh, well, I suppose they would get their just desserts.
Sorry.
It is a shame, though.
I just don't like playing God. I think
Well,
everyone should be given the same chance, and at this point, I mean, they're pretty low on the scales, I get that, but is it still fair that we're just taking them into their death? Doesn't that make us the killers?
you do make a fair point, Natasha. That is incredibly insightful of you.
I'm going to bed now. Good night.
Good night.
And she'll...
Yep. Torin, as you look after these prisoners, they're making no attempts with you. But you do hear a quiet conversation down the end, between 2 gents, talking about how, there's no point trying it with him. He's one of those golden dragonborns. Here they have slaves and servants and all sorts of people, serfs working for them in their households. They're lords over the land, self-important bastards. And so you just hear this conversation going on in the corner. And it just keeps going. It's a little rude, but in all fairness, you've got them tied up and captured in a cave, so a little bit of justice. Other than that, nothing of import happens. And as you sit your 2 hours feeling a little sleepy, what's Torrent doing in this 2 hours? Is he just watching, or is he fiddling or mucking about with anything?
Well, he's definitely watching them over with a stern eye, sort of trying to appear as intimidating as possible, so to not be trifled with.
Good. Give me a perception check, please.
9.
They're behaving themselves, as far as you can see.
Okay. Okay. At the same time, the words of Natasha are weighing heavily on Torin right now. He does want to bring these bandits to justice for the crimes that they've committed, but he also does not want to be, sort of the death's hand, so to speak. So
Interesting.
he's mulling that over for sure.
Quite the conundrum. Tragedy. As a couple of hours roll by and Hennick comes and joins you, at the same moment that Hennick sits down to you, you hear a noise at the front of the cave. It's like a sharp click, I guess. Give me a... Weirdly, I'm going to take this as a strength... No, I want a battle check. That's what I want. It's a battle knowledge thing. Yeah, I will say...
History, survival.
I'm going to ask you to give me just a straight intelligence check.
Oh,
and
great.
then add expertise to it, so add double your proficiency modifier.
Okay.
Because you do know this sound.
No, he doesn't.
You might have known the sound, but you didn't hear it very well. Hennick, however, you smell something. Give me a perception check, please. As you wake up.
What's that smell? It smells like a 7.
Yeah, it smells like a campfire, to be honest. It's the campfire you left burning last night. Okay. In that case, I'm afraid I will still take your initiatives rolled. However, yes, you probably noticed that that's not going to be your round to go first. So please roll initiative on D&D Beyond if you don't mind. At the same time as rolling initiative, Chiavo, Natasha, and Sebastian, can I have a perception check, please? At disadvantage, because you're asleep. Jamal, you here?
Yes.
Okay, initiative? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, it's just taking the time to come in. I haven't got Bruno's yet. Initiative.
I've got an 18 on perception, and my initiative is
Oh,
2.
Cool. Okay.
I got a 14 on perception.
18, 14, okay, and Chiavo, your perception?
2.
Okay, Chiavo, you are double surprise rounded, I'm afraid. Those of you who were in the tent will be susceptible to a surprise round as well. And the smell, Hennick, that you missed was the burning of the tent. Go on, Josh, what are you asking?
I've never been in a surprise round before. What is it?
They're going to have a whole round before you get a turn. Usually this only happens from player to enemy, but I don't know why. So, as you guys are focusing on the prisoners in front of you, the sound you missed, my friend, was the loading of a crossbow. And that is an 18 to hit you, Torin.
Definitely hits me.
Yes, you will take 7 piercing damage.
Ah!
At this moment, Hennick, you are grabbed from behind. I need you to make an athletics check, please, or acrobatics, your choice.
Sure.
You are contesting a 19 in athletics.
Query as I do this. Last time at the end, you told us to take the long rest, so...
Yes, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
I'm expecting you all to have slept a decent amount tonight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an 8 acrobatics.
Okay, you feel your arms yanked behind you, and you are lifted clear off your feet, maybe 3 foot into the air, by somebody who's well muscled. Torin, as you turn, between 12 and 15 bandits come rushing past the tent. One of them sort of elbows you, and then the other one sort of shoves you to the side. I need you to make an athletics check, please.
A 10.
You are also grappled to the side as two of them sort of leap upon you and pin you down, standing on your arms. The line is cut on the rope as all of the bandits are cut free, and a magical darkness descends upon the tent. And the last thing you hear as you are knocked to the ground in this side, Corin and Hennick, you are sort of thrown onto the tent in a way, so you sort of get tangled in the lines. And the last thing you two hear is, get them to Sellus. I will give you that spelling, Sewlus. At this moment, Sebastian and... Who was the one with the 18? Natasha, right? Sebastian, Natasha, and Ulrich, they smell the burning, and they come rushing out the tent. Ulrich turns to deal with the tent, because he cares much about his tent, and he starts pouring water out, and you see him making a gesture with his hand and a ring glowing on his finger as he maneuvers the water to cover the fire. Sebastian and Natasha, you come out of the tent into pitch blackness. Not like I've got dark vision blackness, but like magical I can't see shit blackness. Can both of you give me a dexterity save, please, as you come out? I will take this at advantage from Sebastian.
$19.
Okay. Natasha misses the DC 8 check by 1. Beautiful. So, Natasha, you trip as you first come out over one of the lines of the tent. Sebastian, you feel something in front of your foot and you pull back. However, this means that Sebastian, you remain in the darkness. Natasha, you fall through the darkness into the light. And as you fall out into the light, you see the last of these prisoners running across as a man comes over to her and hands her a baby. It is clearly her baby. She takes it into her arms, like cuddling it all close, and they flee off to the right-hand side.
She's not gonna do anything, you know. After seeing that, I think she's gonna let them escape and just go help her allies inside.
I do have to ask, do any of you wish to pursue?
I don't imagine I can right now, so...
You can get up and run after them, but it's going to be a long chase, and you'll be chasing some 20 people.
Yeah,
Well,
no. Not happening.
Are we in initiative still?
No. However, I will say just at the end of the initiative, Ulrich turns to you, and they took nothing. As he checks his stuff, and the magic darkness dissipates. Natasha, we're out of initiative. Okay.
Is everyone okay?
Yes, just roughed up a bit. Hennick? Hennick?
I'm a bit tangled in here, but otherwise all right.
For reference, Torin, you have a crossbow bolt in the back of your shoulder, just behind your arm.
Oh, yeah. He's fine.
Swinging a weapon is going to be impossible until somebody removes that for you.
I'll go next to Torin and say, do you mind?
'Tis but a scratch, but if you'd like, give it a shot.
If Torin kneels down, I will take a medicine check from Natasha. Otherwise, you won't be able to reach.
Yeah,
I'll do it with guidance as well.
Excellent.
Okay, not 20. 25.
Ooh!
Exquisite. So at this moment, Natasha realizes that she can pull the crossbow bolt out, no problem. However, and she does it was embedded into a part of the muscle under the arm. Not only will this need a tiny bit of magical attention, it will also need sewing quite carefully. Otherwise, it could cause trouble with Torin swinging a weapon.
Okay,
or pulling a bow.
So I can easily fix this with closed wounds as a cantrip for the magic aspect of it.
100%.
Can I argue that I would be able to stitch this with my Weaver's tools proficiency?
That is exactly what I was hoping you would argue. You may.
Okay.
And I'm just going to piggyback off your nat 20. So as you place your hand and the magic sort of begins to close and knit the wound from the inside, you're then able to sew from the outside. And I normally get these out at the end of the session, but I will give you a point in medicine there and then. So please take that one.
Very nice.
And Torin, although you will not have disadvantage of swinging your weapon, as Natasha has done an excellent job, you do sort of... It feels like the first proper wound you've taken. in a fight. You sort of contemplated and, oh Jesus, fighting's dangerous. Perhaps as you begin to think
That
on it
hurts.
later on, might have an effect in your mind. However, the prisoners have escaped.
Did you just say Torin is going to get PTSD?
No, I didn't. I just sort of implied that he's going to have a little think about it and perhaps find a better way of protecting himself from being shot in the back. As you then sort of stop and consider it, you find a sort of preternatural power come to mind as you begin to try and ascertain if there is any danger in the area. You notice that it's almost like something responds, like a godly touch upon your shoulder, like a bit of reassurance. Yeah, something like that. It's just danger sense. You may now use it whenever you please. But yes, it is definitely a thing.
Danger sense or divine sense?
Whichever one the paladin thing is called.
I think it's divine sense. Yeah.
Sure, whatever. There's no fucking fae in the area, I can tell you now. What is it, fiends or something? I don't know.
Fiends, undead, celestial.
I have had so many paladins use it, and I have never ever been able to say that it finds anything. I wish that I could. I'm determined that at some point in this campaign, you're going to use it, and it's going to find something. But as yet, I've never had a divine sense check at a moment where there is something worth mentioning. So, fingers crossed, it may happen one day. Nevertheless, you may all finish resting. So obviously, you will all be at max HP again. I think Torin was the only one that was shot, and that was for story purposes. As you all sort of gather around the campfire in the morning, Hennick, today you won't be cooking breakfast because Aldrich has been preparing something special for you all. You see that it's sort of lean, streaky parts of boar meat, laid out with poached eggs and a variety of interesting vegetables. And he plates this up for each of you. You will all be able to take +1 to your attributes for the day.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's a proper gourmet dish.
Damn.
Damn.
So I have done one of these for a +2. At some point, I will just homebrew, like, meal effects 1, meal effects 2. Actually, I think, Jamal, off the top of your head, can you remember what the name of the Urxos buff is?
Oh, shit.
Is it temporal something?
Temporal upgrade, yes.
Is that +1 to stats?
Yes, +1 to all
Look at
attributes.
me, I'm clever. If you add that to your inventory, you can just apply that for now so that you don't have to manually change all your stats. That is temporal upgrade. I believe there's also a 2 and 3.
Yes.
So, yeah, that will be, that you can just add those whenever necessary. Don't equip them if we're not using food buffs.
Did some real damage today. No longer have a -1.
Woo! Yeah, hopefully that's your last combat for the day.
So when Kelvin finally wakes up after, not having woke up throughout.
Oh,
the
no.
entirety
You
of
didn't wake
Fuck.
up. You were just woken up by Aldrich going, breakfast ready.
So I have no idea what the fuck happened.
No, the edge of the tent is singed. But I do want to ask, Kelvo. Actually, I'm going to go backwards. That's all right. When you first sat in the tent, is there anything that you would be doing?
When I would have first
Last
sat in the
night,
tent,
yeah, last night
Yes.
after your meal.
I would have decided to take a little bit of time to thumb through Yagra's book and see what few things I can learn before promptly passing out after spending like half an hour or an hour of reading.
Excellent. Okay, I just wondered what you were studying last night. That's fine. Okay, cool.
Yep. It's the only thing I can study really at the minute, isn't it? It's not like I've got the spell books on.
It's not like you've got a spell book on you?
No, I've got my spell book. But
And
it's
a
not like I've got
half-finished
book of
scroll?
spell. What, the old moon elf scroll thing?
No, the half-finished scroll you bought in the marketplace at the crossroads.
Wait, wasn't that the old moon elf one?
That's half a scroll. No, it's just half a spell scroll. It was unfinished.
Oh, right. Okay, I didn't realise I had the unfinished spell scroll. Yeah, I'll go through that then.
Cool. Well, you can do that on the cart, okay?
Yeah,
so
I'll do it
as
on
you
the
will
cart.
load up on the cart, there's now 2 carts, of course, because Aldrich had a cart as well, though his horse was dead. So he's sort of pretty much looking desperately at Torin. Please help. Please help. Please help. And you see that he sort of rigs the cart to be linked to the cart, to Hennick's cart at the back. But it might need a good shove to get going. Would you mind giving me a strength check on that, Torin? Kiava, you can put your hands in the back of it as well.
Strength or athletics?
I'll give some help.
Either's fine.
Let's do
You can do
athletics.
some athleticism.
Yeah, I'll give
it'll
some
be
help
a
and assistance
dirty
on the
20.
athletics.
Oh! Cool. I was gonna let you roll an advantage with Kiavo helping you, but I don't think you need it. That's a big pass. So with a sort of hefty shove, the two of you are, and all of you really, are able to hop up into the cart. Hennick's pony's not gonna have a nice day, but you'll get there. And Kiavo, as you sit down in the back of the cart and you take a look at your spellbook and you take a look at this unfinished scroll, just sort of staring at it, puzzled. Give me an intelligence check.
Right, intelligence check. That's a 19.
It's a 19. Yeah, as you're looking at this, you're realizing that you don't really know what the other half would be. However, as you stare blankly at it and thinking, okay, maybe that connects to that, maybe that goes here, and you start to place it in your spellbook, just sort of placing it in a page in your spellbook. And you hear a voice out loud. You've got it upside down, you blithering idiot.
Upside down?
Turn it round. God, call
Where's
yourself
this
a
voice
scholar.
coming from? What?
As you lift the scroll up, you see a little mouth has appeared in the spellbook. As it now lifts up into the air and it looks at you. The front cover, you imagine now, has these sort of bushy eyebrows and the eyes sort of lean over. It has a mouth in the front and it looks at you. Oh dear God, what happened to your face? Oh,
Excuse
you're a Leonin. God, how did I end up in the hands of you? I used to be used by accomplished and talented wizards, and now I've got a blithering idiot that doesn't know which way round the scroll goes.
It's
Oh,
half a
great.
scroll.
Well, it's only half a scroll because you haven't finished it. Tell me you were writing it.
No.
Oh, good God, I've got a student.
Yes, you do. Hello. What on earth is going on?
Well, my name's Theseus. It was designed many, many years ago as a companion spellbook to talented and magnificent wizards, to those destined to be great and excellent, powerful and wonderful. And it would seem that instead I've ended up with you. Go on then, out with it. What's your name, useless?
I'm just shocked and stunned, and I'm just sit there for like a few seconds before just like.
Oh, you're not slow, are you?
My name's Chavo.
You're not slow, are you?
No,
Like, in the
I'm
head?
just incredibly startled.
You're startled?
Yeah, like you're talking. You're
You didn't
flying
expect me
and
to talk?
talking. Absolutely not.
How
no.
did you get your hands on this book?
I bought it.
I'm for sale?
You were, yes.
Unconsignable. This. Tell me the year. Sorry, that was a sort of challenge for you all. It's 32.49.
Yeah, yeah, okay, nice.
32.49?
Yeah.
I'm 1,000 years out of time.
Excuse me, what?
I'm 1,000 years out of time. I've gone from being the companion to one of the greatest wizards of the millennia to being 1,000 years out of time in the hands of an incompetent student. I'm taking a nap. Wake me up later. The eyes close and the face goes into this permanent frown. Congratulations, you are now an Order of the Scribes wizard. However, your companion is less happy than you. And the rest of you are all perfectly witness to this, by the way, as you can hear this spellbook tearing him to shreds. However, I'm going to open the window because somebody's aggressively turning the heating up. Be back in a second. Play with your spellbook.
What the fuck just happened?
Hearing Theseus just abusing you, Sebastian giggling at himself.
Gavo, are you talking to that piece of paper?
He talked back at me. What's going on?
Like, Natasha wouldn't really talk, but she'd pick the medicine book that Torin bought her and kind of whisper into it. Do you also talk?
I would hope your book does not talk. I would sincerely hope it does not.
It doesn't.
Now, on the other hand, what I will do is I will turn that scroll upside down and set
Great.
halfway up like the book said.
With your writing of your 19 intelligence check at this point, you realize that this scroll is something different. Something a little... Oh, no, sorry. I've got the wrong person open. I'm about to hand Hennick a spell.
Yeah.
As you read your book, Hennick gains an arcane spell. That'll confuse a lot of them. You do learn that this spell is Kimia's Speak with Objects. And after a while, as you begin to look carefully at this scroll and start tracing over it with your quill, the book will guide you. No, you're missing a rune on the bottom left. Fill in that word. Do you not speak Ancient Elvish?
I only
Competent.
speak contemporary modern Elvish.
Brilliant. Well, I guess you'll have to study that if you're going to be even somewhat competent. And,
there is a problem with that. There are not that many resources for learning the old language.
fool, and then it says a phrase in a different language. Do you think I would not be able to speak Ancient Elvish?
Would you be willing to teach me, though? That's the question.
Well, while we're stuck together, we might at least try and make you half competent. And as the book
Fantastic.
finishes guiding you in Ancient Elvish and the words you are missing, you may now write the spell Kimia's Speak with Objects to your spellbook. For reference, this grants life and sentience to an inanimate object, such as a rock, and you may ask it questions. This inanimate object is neutral towards you unless you've done something to harm it or help it. And it can give you information about things that have happened around it and near it. The senses and intelligence of the object are limited. It says decided by the DM, but I will just tell you they are limited. Do not expect to get philosophy out of a rock. But you may
Absolutely
get an
fucking not.
observation on who stepped on it today.
So, I can't find that spell in my spell list anywhere. Where do I put that into my thing?
That's a level 1 spell, Kimia's Speak with Objects. Do I have to click the learn button for you?
I don't actually see the
So
spell.
wizards, add spells, first level, K.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing it for some reason. I'll take a look. In
Refresh
different
and scroll down to K, and it's Kimia's Speak with Objects. Anyway,
as it loads.
Can I ask Thesis a question?
of course you can. Will he? Oh, you want to ask the book a question? Give me an insight check. Or an intelligence check, actually, for you. Probably an intelligence check. Or even an arcana check. Any one of the three, really. Just roll a dice.
I'll take the Arcana to make that a 21.
Yeah, great. Artifacts like this, although it has now begun to float, it was activated by Kiavo's holding it, and it is not responding to what he says out loud, but to what is in his mind. It is a direct attunement thing. So you could ask the book a question, but you'd have to ask Kiavo, and he'd have to ask the book. You would not be able to... Not yet. You would not yet be able to communicate directly with it. Perhaps
what's the
later when
book's
you're
name
more
again?
powerful as a wizard. Theseus.
Theseus. Got it.
Then I guess I'll just wait for Kiavo to fill us in on what the book has said.
Oh, no, you can all hear the book talk. You just can't talk to the book, because the book is listening to what's in Kiavo's mind and then responding out loud.
Okay.
Does that not make sense?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay,
The book has no ears, but it does have a mouth, basically. Cool.
sure. Kiavo, why don't you ask it who its previous master was?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I shall ask just that.
It is a he. Thank you very much, as you think this question in your mind. And my previous master was Mercurius. Mercurius was one of the greatest wizards of his kind. A moon elf of incredible magic.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay.
James, could you put the spelling of that in chat?
I've actually said it wrong. So it's actually Mercutius.
Mercutius, right.
Yeah. Mercutius is the name. I was tempted with, do you bite your thumb at me, sir? Nay, I do but bite my thumb, Mercutio. But I went for Mercutius instead. Possibly one of the best lines in Shakespeare's history. But yes,
Nerd.
Mercutius. Nerd or educated?
Scholar.
Yes.
Yes.
Educated,
That's
I think is what
coming
I'm going to
from
go
me.
for. Yeah, well, I
That's
like my
coming
literature.
from me.
And I could have given you a mathematical formula. That would have turned into a nerddom. Anyway,
Yes,
as
it
you
would.
guys rickety roll down the hill, thank you very much. Today, rolling our random encounter dice will be Bruno. Bruno, if you'd kindly roll me a d100, please.
Come on, get us a winner.
For the record, Mercutio doesn't say that.
17.
No, he gets it said to him, right?
No, it's Gregory and Samson in the first. I don't remember which one of them says it in the first scene, but Mercutio's not there.
Oh.
I teach it.
Small
I
amount
wouldn't have known
educated,
2 months
but
ago,
not
but I
greatly
just taught.
educated. I was taught it once. It was 8 years ago, though. Sorry, what was your roll, Bruno?
17.
17, eh? Okay.
17 even.
Ooh! That's exciting. Okay, can I take a d20, please?
Six.
Fantastic. That is the number I was hoping for. It is less than a 10. As you are walking, as you are carting down the road, a gentleman who appears to be holding something in front of his face and a quill is walking and almost blindly walks into your cart and he sort of hears the horse and looks up and, oh, good day. Good day. Welcome. Hello. Hi. How are you? Where are you going?
Slow down there. Who are you?
My name's Ewan. I'm a master cartographer. I'm trying to map the whole of Beldania.
Oh, how fascinating.
It's an ambitious task.
Well, progress has been good so far, but well, I can't help but wonder if perhaps it's futile. My life will not last long. No, I must be confident and dedicated to my art. I will complete it. However, right now I have the province of Arbondon down, almost. I just need to finish mapping this road. And yes, well, onwards we go. Are any of you cartographers? Any of you ever drawn a map?
Well, I've drawn a picture.
Scarcely ever even needed a map.
We'll need maps. Just don't know it yet. Maps are the future. Maps will allow anyone to know exactly where the land lies and what is going on. Maps will tell us of hills and rivers and valleys and mountains and all of the things that anyone could possibly need to know while traveling. Well, if none of you are, then one of you should be. You're traveling together, are you not? Adventurers, you seem. Or at least somewhat adventuresome. No? You have weapons. And magic-y things. And he
Aye,
points to
adventures we
some
are.
stuff.
Somewhat.
Fantastic. Well, let me give you some of these. And he takes his pack off and he begins rummaging around and he pulls out a long scroll. And he sort of hands it up to the cart, to anybody who'll take it. That there is a map of the Harbondon province. And, well, here. And he sort of takes out a little smaller pouch. If I might ask for your knowledge of what lies over that hill, and he's literally pointing directly at Sandringham, then perhaps in exchange I might have something to give you.
Ah, well, yes, of course. This lies the village of Sandringham, where we all hail from.
Ah, Sandringham. Excellent. That's near Morscombe, no? They say it's a nice, peaceful village, although a little sleepy. The river passes through there, does it not?
Aye, it does.
Excellent. As expected, as expected. Brilliant! That will complete my map. Here, you must take these! And he hands you a small pouch, and in this pouch are a series of pencils and of this sort. They're leads. and quills that will allow one to draw neatly. Some canvas and a sextant and a strange compass.
I'll
I
take the pouch and I'll hand it over to Kiavo and say, "Yeah, Kiavo, perhaps you could talk with your book and."
The man sort of looks at you and talking to books. Goodness me, and they say I'm a bit mad.
It's a little out there. It's
That it is. Well,
it's
anybody who's
something.
got some deft skill with a pen, Mr. Calligrapher.
That would be me.
Well,
yes.
yes, we'll be able to cartograph as you go. You can sell small maps that you make, but most of this is going to be useful for like mapping a dungeon as you go to find your way back out, or perhaps taking a sort of small map of the area to then assess where you're going to go next, etc. Yeah.
Alright.
Go on.
Okay, that sounds good.
Fantastic.
So there's some of the stuff in this is going to be a little similar to some of the stuff that I've got in my calligraphy set already, right? So
Yeah, there's some of the drawing tools will make sense, but in general, you're as a scholar, you know what all of these things do.
Yeah, obviously,
Certainly,
yeah.
you know how to use a compass. Bear in mind that the cartographer's tools contains the navigator's tools.
Right.
So that's all in one. And those are delivered deftly upon your lap. And Ewan looks up and, well, I must be onwards. I've got the whole world to map, and only a limited amount of time. Tell you what, these feet are getting weary. But onwards and upwards.
Best of luck to you, young Ewan.
Yeah, the best of luck to you.
One thing you do notice is that this gentleman is traveling alone throughout the wilderness and appears completely unfazed. Those of you... I think Kiavo's looking at his cartography kit, so I think just Sebastian. Give me a perception check, please.
It says 7.
You were
Okay.
busy looking at a really pretty cloud patch.
Yeah, I was. Sebastian was not giving a fuck about this guy anyway. So
No, it was more to see how he's defending himself. But yeah, you missed that moment looking at a
yeah, the
cloud.
second he started talking about drawing maps.
Yeah. But that cloud did look slightly like a Harangon. And as the cart rickety rolls on, you are able to reach the sort of approach to Harbond.
Oh.
As you find yourselves coming up towards some market stalls. These market stalls, you hear people standing at them hawking their wares. 3 fish a copper, 3 fish a copper. You know, everybody else, 2 for the 1, 2 for the 1, strawberries in a pannier, 2 for the 1, 2 for the 1. And all these sort of noises assault you simultaneously. The smells come up from places where they're smoking fish and burning different incenses at another stall. As you look over to the left, there are some sort of corporate-looking buildings. But for the most part, what takes all of your eyes is the rising citadel up ahead. Now, I think all of you have been to Harbond at one time or other, but it's... Yes, Sebastian?
Are we in the city?
No.
Okay, I was going to say.
No, you are on the approach. So, for reference, if we were to go to the map... Oh, we're in a tavern. That's exciting, isn't it? When did that happen? Oh, I was showing somebody something, that's why. For reference, you are not there. You are literally here. So right at the beginning of the entrance to sort of... Furlock's is far over to the... Oh, who's covering Furlock? Stop that shit. Yep, Furlock's is over to the left. The market stalls are up ahead. The Grinning Ponies are out to the right. Silver Knight Tavern is directly in front of you. Anyway.
Sure. The reason why I asked is because I was like, we can see the citadel all the way from over here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
This
yes.
citadel is huge, and the town sort of rises on a hill, and the citadel sits right up. Even though you guys have all been here plenty of times before, you can't help but immediately stop and raise your head and look up at this sort of towering piece of master architecture. As you hear the sounds of the city come to mind, realistically, one thing greets all of you in your mind simultaneously. Lunch. As you look over, you see the Silver Knight Tavern. You know that this is a great place to stable your carts and your poor pony as black... I can never remember the vegetable. I know it's a vegetable. Hennick, which vegetable is it? Your pony? What's his name?
Black Radish.
Radish. That's the one. I'm going. Black beetroot, black cabbage, black lettuce. I know it's something like this. Black radish. So yeah, black radish is giving you the grumpiest of snorts as he pulls 2 carts with his shoulders, unhappily. And you are able to roll into the stables. At which point, Aldrich turns to you all and let me buy you lunch. One more gesture before we part.
You're too kind, Aldrich.
At this moment, she's been nose deep in a book for like a good 5 hours, and as she puts the book down, you see that it is a tourist's guide to Harbondon. Meralda sort of looks up and... okay, well, we'll wait a little bit. But once we're done with lunch, can we go straight to the Adventurers Guild? I really can't wait. I'm so excited. Would that be okay? Excellent. Guys, please.
That'll do just fine.
Give me something!
I'd like to say stuff, I just
Don't
can't.
think Sebastian, you just don't think Sebastian gives a flying fuck.
I don't know how much longer you need us to even escort you. I mean, if you're going to be living in the city here.
Oh, come, you must see me to the Adventurers Guild. Maybe it'll look so good if I come in with all of you by my side. You look so, look, a strapping dragonborn and a magic Leonin and a cat person and you guys, as he looks to Sensatcher and Hennick, it'll be like I'm part of an adventuring band, and I know I'm not, but come on, please, just come along
So
with me.
that's why you want us to come.
I'm not
Yes,
choosing you.
yes.
I just, please, just, it's not
Of-
far.
Yes, of course, Meralda. But please, allow us to have
Oh yes, lunch is good. I can't go in with my stomach growling at them. Goodness
Food
me,
and
what will they think of
libations.
me? And you are able to enter into the Silver Knight Tavern, which, just bear with me a second. Where is my Harbondon picture? It's just, I know it's here somewhere. Thank you. As you enter into the Silver Knight Tavern, you see a group of sort of fairly well dressed adventurers sitting in one corner, and over behind the bar is a gentleman. He's very large and very strapping. He's got large shoulders and a strange large moustache. Yes, I didn't realize I was going to reuse it. And he sort of gestures towards a young girl, and this young girl comes running up to you at the door and, well, come on in. Master Aldrich, it's been a while. Please, your normal table? And Aldrich looks at her and, Talia, fantastic. That'll be excellent. Thank you. And you're led through an arch to the right as you enter in, and over to a more quiet table. And can I get you some lunch? There's a pig on the spit.
Whatever you have will be.
Now we all talk.
Ah,
Go on,
good. Well,
Hennick.
for food.
Go on, Hennick.
Whatever you have will be just fine. Thank you.
Sebastian.
Do you have a menu?
We've got soup of the day, which today I believe is mushroom. We've got a pig on the spit, and the usual roast potatoes and vegetables. I could possibly get you up some porridge or some bread and ham and cheese if you wish, but other than that, I don't have anything else to serve. That'll be the menu, sir.
I'll take the mushroom soup, please. With a glass of red wine.
Oh, fantastic. I'll bring you over the Beldon's Finest, which is a bottle from the sort of southeast of Jawston, from the vineyards there. Although she then looks at you and, might I ask where you've all travelled from?
No, we haven't traveled far.
It's just like a party now. We're all excited. Come on, let's talk. Brilliant, love it.
Just over the hill in Sandringham.
Excellent. In Sandringham, you say? Bear with me. I need to read my document. Well, I've got some very special wine. It's made by the Ollertons. I suppose it's probably regular to you all, but to us it's quite special. The Ollertons, Patricia and Nick, are grape farmers and vintners in Sandringham. They've got a vineyard there. This bottle is aged from a couple of years ago. It's very fine. Might I get you a glass of that?
Well, please do. 2 if you'd like.
Well, perhaps
How incredibly
a
fitting.
bottle and
I'll
some
have one
glasses?
as well, please.
Bottle and some goblets. I'll bring it straight away. Is anybody drinking anything else? I'll bring a ewer of water, but any hot drinks or anything else?
Wine from Sandringham sounds fine for me.
Excellent. Very good. And mushroom soup for the gentleman, pig on the spit for you, young halfling. What about a pig on the spit for you as well?
Yes, and lots of it.
Lots of it. Fantastic. For larger folk. What about you, young lass? You're staying very quiet. Can I get you anything?
Can I get some water?
Of course you can. Anything to eat?
Do you have any pies?
I think we've got a little bit of yesterday's pie. I'll have a look for you.
Thank you.
And you, young man? Sorry, am I interrupting your reading?
No, it's okay. I'll You said about soup and bread?
Sure. Mushroom soup and bread. Cheese on the side.
That sounds good. Please.
I'll bring
That sounds fantastic.
Aldrich, pig on the spit. Yes, please. Excellent. And as she sort of runs off and scurries away, she comes back moments later and we've got a pie with last night's venison. Is that okay for you? Excellent. I'll bring it
Yes,
up with some
please.
potatoes and vegetables for you. And she hustles off. Yeah, they don't normally give you pies in the lunchtime, but as Natasha would know, sometimes there's a bit of pie left, and it's usually the kitchen staff's, but they're more than happy to reheat it for somebody else. Yeah, as you all sit there and sort of enjoy the luxury, Meralda has ordered herself a tiny bit of the soup and bread and ham and cheese. The wine comes out. Sebastian, as you take your first sip, this is really good stuff.
Yeah, I like stir it a bit and then smell it.
Swill, I believe, is the word you're looking for.
I'm not a wine
Yeah.
connoisseur.
You're not using a spoon to stir this, are you? No. Okay.
Oh, my
As you
word.
swirl the glass and take a deep, it's got essences of fruit and spice.
Is that oak I'm getting?
It's a deep red wine. It's very it's very smooth and very velvety on the tongue, and it just reminds you that tiny bit of the view over the river from the vineyard. It's that sort of feeling of homeliness, but also picturesque countryside. And you are all able to enjoy your meal as it's served. This will grant satisfaction. You can take 2 points of maximum HP the rest of the day.
You still have the 4 from before?
No. That expired for breakfast.
And the
You do have your attributes rolling.
Yes.
They will last until 4 p.m. and it's currently only 12 p.m. And as soon as I think Torin had a plate that was piled up with pig on the spit, as soon as he takes his last mouthful, you see Meralda sort of. Can we go into the city now?
I'm just giving her the dirtiest look.
I don't think she notices at all.
Yep.
Okay, well, come on then. And then she will begin to head with you. She's dragging you up to the city gates. There are 2 gentlemen stood very bored looking, each of them holding a sort of a long pike and a shield on his arm, and they don't wear particularly armor as such. It's like a small leather jerkin, and everything else is just like clothing. They look up to you and papers, please. Aldrich hands his and Aldrich, good day. He turns to you all and I must make my deliveries, but thank you so much for your company and for your valiant rescue. I shall put in a good word for you at the Adventurers Guild.
Could you take her with you if you're heading that way?
I believe she has requested your presence in the group, and certain ones of you have accepted. Perhaps a job completed, I guess. But I'll put in a good word for you. And he heads through the city gates. Go on, Henrik.
Yeah, let's see it through, Sebastian. We'll get her over to the Adventurers Guild ourselves.
You're muted.
Yeah, but I want to go to Furlocks, and we've walked right past
That's
it.
fine, that's fine. It's only a 10-minute walk from the city gate. It's really not long. You can go in and out as and when. And
But we
however you
were
like.
right next door.
You were, but never mind it. I think
Maybe
Furlocks
you weren't
might
so
be a.
focused on your fancy wine.
I think Furlocks might be a good place to take an evening meal. I'm sure he won't mind. So, as you all hand over your paperwork, and so yeah. Oh, it's you again. Very well. And Sebastian, he hands you your paperwork. But you see, he's keeping a real close eye on you.
I just look up to him. Meow.
Don't try that. I've heard now. Sebastian Belmont. The mages have told me that was a mean trick.
Meow.
For reference, the first time Sebastian came through, he pretended to be a house cat as soon as he'd finished talking, and the guards thought they'd gone nuts. So, as you guys progress onto Central Street and head straight down the main road, you are able to approach the Adventurers Guild. The Adventurers Guild is a somewhat illustrious building, and inside it is... Sorry, I really want to get good at talking and clicking, but I'm not good at it. As you enter inside, there's sort of rugs of various beasts and animals on the ground. There are different busts and whatever that fancy word is for the thaumaturgied heads of stags stuck to the walls. And behind the counter is a gentleman, and you can see that once upon a time he was most definitely a strapping warrior. He's got sort of a rugged scar down the side of his face leading down to his neck. He is human. He has sort of grey hair pulled back quite tightly into a warrior's braid and sharp green eyes. And he looks up at you and... Good day. How may I help you? And Meralda looks up and... I've got this. And all of her excitement has completely dissipated. She looks terrified. And she sort of takes this little scroll and she just sort of, with a trembling hand, puts it up on the counter. She looks at him. And this gentleman, I mean, he's standing sort of 6'8", 6'9". You know, he's a ginormous guy. And he looks down at her and he takes out this scroll between his fingers. Well, I never. A reference from Yagra herself. I'm not exactly sure what a guild of adventurers is meant to do with a receptionist, but do we shall, please. And then he bellows out of this massive voice. Milana! Come down, please. And this girl walks down. I mean, she fair dances down. You can see that she's very sort of light on her feet. As she sort of skips down the stairs. She's wearing a leather jerkin. She's got a viol strung behind her back and a dagger at each hip and a short sword down one side. And she sort of strides on up and... well, what is it? What needs doing? And he looks down. We have a new receptionist. She looks at him. Well, we need one of them. She will greet people. Apparently, she's a friendlier face than I. And she looks up. But Davith, you've been the receptionist. Wait, are you a receptionist? You've been the greeting person for at least 10 years. Well, perhaps I shall get to do some more important work. This girl is going to be our greeting person. And while we're at it, who are the lot of you?
Well, first of all, might I humbly suggest that if you were good enough receptionist on your own, you would know what to do when someone shows up to be a receptionist. A little bit convoluted, but she might have a purpose here after all. Now, I'm Hennick Littlefield. We're all from Sandringham.
He's still trying to turn that round in his head as she looks at him.
Yeah, see, it's...
Don't worry about it. He's right. You were always better at splitting skulls.
Meralda would have handled that no trouble. And we brought her here for you. And yeah, that's about the size of it.
Are you an adventuring troupe yourselves?
I suppose you could say that.
I suppose you could say it. I'm not so sure I would just yet.
Are you registered?
I do not believe so, no.
Just a
Well-
favor for a friend.
Yes.
Should you wish to register, and you see he immediately goes into like this learned spiel that like he's not a particularly intelligent man. He's a very wise man. He's a very brave man. He's not very bright. But he's learned this by rote. And he begins to tell you that if you sign up to the Adventurers Guild, you must give 10% of all earnings from all quests given at various guild halls to the Adventurers Guild. Nevertheless, you will be supported by repair of your gear and replacement of any arrows or ammunition used throughout your adventures. You may also gain use of an Adventurer's tent, an Adventurer's backpack, and 2 Adventurer's potion pouches. You may get a 10% discount for manufacturing goods. And then he sort of looks at you, and of course you gain access to the Adventurers Guild jobs. And
Jobs,
sort
you
of
say?
stops. Sorry, what was that one?
He says jobs, you say?
Yes, Adventurers Guild jobs. Usually these are quite simple, but sometimes they can be quite dangerous. There was an ogre causing trouble not so long ago on the border to Yakin. An adventurer troop came through and they earned themselves 7 gold pieces, they did.
7 gold pieces.
Yeah, near fortune, though they did, of course, have to risk their lives for it, for that is what brave adventurers do.
Yes, I suppose you are right.
Though some of you look less life-risky than others. Might I take a note of your names, and perhaps if you wish to register at a future date, or if I hear of your noteworthy deeds, then I might at least keep track. You said you were Hennick, was that correct? Hennick Littlefield.
That's correct. You're not. As long as my name being in your list there ain't gonna cause you to come hounding me for percentages that I ain't, taking on through
I'm
this.
not registering you. I'm only taking note, just in case you
Alright.
do something noteworthy. And yourself. And he looks to Torin.
Oh, my name is Torin Goldenbrand.
Excellent. And you all hail from Sandringham?
Yes, that's right.
Goldenbrand. He flicks back through the book, this huge leather tome that's on the desk. Goldenbrand.
Yes, that's right.
I had a golden brand, well, nigh on 70 years ago, come and register here.
Ah, yes, that would be my grandfather. The old Carl. Goreth Goldenbrand.
Glad you can remember it. I was looking for it in swift motions. Said you, Carl Gorath. Carl Gorath slew a troll in single-handed combat.
Ah, yes, he's...
Quite the
performed
legacy to
many a
live up
feat.
to.
Well...
Hmm.
They say I am the spitting image of him.
And what of you? I see you have a manufactory buckler on your arm. You see yourself as a protective one, do you, lass?
Yeah,
Might I take your name?
my name's Natasha.
Natasha. Family name?
Ayelet.
Hmm. Your parents run the inn in Sandringham?
Yeah.
Ah, my wife says that your mother does incredible pies.
Your wife's right.
And, what of you? And, he looks to Chiavo. I notice you don't seem to be carrying a sword. Unusual for a Leonin.
Yes, a little unusual, but I'm not really a usual Leonin. The name's Chiavo.
Chiavo. Chiavo of the no surname worth mentioning. Might I know your clan name?
Duskmane Pride.
Chiavo of the Duskmane Pride. Excellent. And I'm afraid your reputation precedes you, young man. Sebastian Belmont, is it?
Yes.
The one that transformed himself into a cat and seemed happy with it. Excellent. People are pairing you up with Furlock, is that correct?
Yes.
Very good. Well, someone's got to be the strange wizard in the group.
Well, I'm very comfortable in the body that I have. Are you sure you're with yours?
No, not at all. My knees creak, my back goes, and this scar on my face pulls every time it gets cold. Not comfortable at all. If I could transform myself into anything that kept a bit younger, I'd be over the moon.
We could fix that for you, if you'd like.
I just don't want pause.
Oh no, I was suggesting that you'd have nothing.
Well, quite the mouth on you, young lad. Regardless, I've taken note of you. There is a job open to everybody, associates as well. Should you be interested. There's a group of bandits running under the name of Celos who are operating on the roads towards Sandringham. They're using a
Celis?
Celos.
Yeah,
Yes,
don't
they're
we
using...
know it?
Nellis,
Oh,
you say?
you've encountered them.
Aye,
Indeed.
we saved Master Oldwick here.
Yeah, Master Oldwick has been and gone.
Oh.
But yeah, he oh, he did mention a band of adventurers who helped him out in a tight spot. Oh, hi.
Oops.
Who do we lose? Rika. Oh,
Yeah.
There we go. Welcome
There we
back.
go.
He did mention
Did you
a
see
band of adventurers
did
on
you
his way past.
Did you see my PM?
No, I didn't. Let me get that. It will be done in literally 45 seconds.
Okay.
So he sort of looks at you and, well, I've got your reputations down. Yes, anybody who can bring me the hand of Celos with his signet ring upon it, or bring me the man himself alive. The bounty on his head is 20 gold pieces. He has caused quite a lot of trouble. A large sum. And if you can bring back the item he stole from the Mystic Emporium, one alchemy ewer, it's apparently quite a valuable item. The Mystic Emporium are offering another 2 gold and a diamond in exchange. So, if by chance you manage to take the hand of Celos or destroy his merry band, I would be most grateful. But in the meantime, I should get this young Meralda to her duties. Please, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I didn't give my name, did I? David.
A pleasure, Davis.
Good. And before we go explore the rest of Harbon, we're going to take a short break. So, we shall see you guys soon. And I've gone to the wrong screen. Oh well. Hi guys, we're back. As
It's
we
entering him, apparently.
well, yeah, wait. No, this is just the roleplay background. It will always be the background. This is the humble beginnings from which our characters came. Nevertheless, let's get to the right place. Marvelous. As the group is currently at the Adventurers Guild. And as you are dismissed, where will we all be headed? Are we going to stay together as a group, or are we all going to bugger off in 5 different directions?
Well, first things first, as soon as I get out of the building, I'm just going to start bursting out laughing and just looking at Sebastian. The weird wizard.
Well, to be fair, he was gonna rip you to shreds, but you didn't tell him you did magic. He fucking hates wizards.
I was just gonna look at Chiavo. I don't think you should laugh so hard, book boy.
I know, it's ironic, isn't it? It's incredibly ironic.
Are we all running in 5 different directions? I'm more than happy for you to run in 5 different directions.
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
What do you guys say?
shall we arrange to meet outside? I know that I am not in one of these people, but do you want to arrange to meet somewhere at some point, preferably for dinner? Burlock will feed you if you want to go down there. He's free.
What great
Sure.
places are there to eat?
The Silver Knight Tavern, the Drunken Dragon Inn, and the Burping Bard are probably the most likely taverns of choice. Though you could technically go to the Illustrious Merchant if you wish to be entertained by a bard, though I hear the food's a bit shit. I think that's all the standard taverns. There is a restaurant. I don't know what it's called or where it is yet, so please leave me alone and don't try and go there. You can go to the Silver Knight Tavern, which is outside of town, or you can go to Furlock's, because he's renowned for producing all sorts of interesting and strange food. And he's obviously a good friend of Sebastian's, and he may well put you up for the afternoon or evening.
Yes, well, perhaps we should all go about some business for the day and break for dinner. Any suggestions?
One of those options James just listed.
Furlock's,
I'm easy.
the Silver Knight Tavern.
Just been to the Silver
I mean,
Knight
I don't
Tavern.
know that Torrin's ever been to Harbondon, so
You definitely would have come a couple of times, but probably just sort of your father showing you
yeah,
around.
like with somebody exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He probably would have taken you to eat at the Drunken Dragon Inn because he thinks he's a very, he's not as humble as you might think.
Uppity type. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
you guys can't afford to eat there.
Oh.
I mean, you can, but you don't want to. It's going to be all the money you have.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that then.
It's sort of 2 silver for a meal and a drink. It's extortionate.
I don't need to eat with people who think that's a sensible price for a meal. I'd be happy by the evening time to get back on out of the city if you want to hit back out to the tavern or your friend Furlock's place. That's fine with me.
Furlocks it is.
Excellent. I would assume that you guys would have mentioned at the Silver Knight Tavern that you might be taking rest that evening. Unless you want to tent it outside of the town, which is sort of frowned upon. It's acceptable, but it's frowned upon. They would prefer that you stayed indoors. So yeah, if you're going to stay the night at the Silver Knight Tavern and leave the following morning, it's probably what would make most sense. Cool. So I'm just going to pick one of you at random, and I'm going to follow Hennick. Hennick, where are we going?
I need to get some groceries, I think.
Okay. Just
Me and
bear
my
with me a
pal
second.
Gregor.
What- Oh my goodness, you're huge. Okay. I clicked your cat on it. It was like the size of the map. Okay, cool. So groceries. So we're heading down to the merchant's boardwalk, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Where would we like to go? Fruit, veg, meats, baked goods.
Well, I'm sorry. I should have said this while we were out, but like, should I consider that at some level, when we're at home, I can get some vegetables and things from my own farm?
Yeah, 100%. Vegetables, 100%. Fruit, no.
Sure, right.
Yeah, fruit tends to be grown far to the east and it's shipped in.
Yeah, then I think that's what I would be focused on.
Okay.
Whatever I don't think I can get at home. Of
So
a
as
food-making variety.
as you come up towards Gregor's store, you see that there are some excellent-looking melons sitting outside, and some wonderful marrows, and a few turnips that are polished to almost shining. You've been here plenty of times. You usually sell him goods, but as you head on in, he's quite a gruff fellow. He's sort of very tall and very thin, and he's got fingers like they belong in the earth. They're very long and constantly darker than the rest of his skin. And he looks at you with a well-shaven face. Henrik, good morning. Good morning.
How you doing there, Gregor?
I've got a cold at the moment.
Sorry to hear that.
But perhaps you're not selling today?
Yeah, strangest thing, I had a cartload of folk this time instead of too much produce.
Oh, that's no good to anyone. Can't sell folk.
No, more of a favor. But be getting back to my farm soon enough, so obviously I won't need much of what I tend to bring you, but if you got any kind of fruits, something like that might be interesting.
Got some melons on offer at the door. I've got some panniers of strawberries over there. They're not quite ripe yet. They'll be ready in a day or two, but worth the purchasing now. And got apples, many apples as you like. 3 per copper shard. Realistically, you can just add fresh fruit. I think it's literally fresh fruit.
Sure.
So he'll sell you 6 for a copper, and that'll be a variety of different fruits.
Good
Which
to see you
tells
again,
you
Gregor.
just how expensive the Drunken Dragon Inn is. Yeah, I mean, it's beyond ridiculous. I'm assuming you don't want any vegetables from him. Do you want any potatoes? Or have you got potatoes?
Yeah.
Does Henrik grow potatoes? I don't know. Does Henrik grow potatoes?
He could.
Yeah.
He had a potato on his list originally.
Great, then keep a potato. I don't really know farming things, so I don't know in that sort of temperate, sort of British.
Well, I had to
weather.
catch up with your obsession with marrow, which is not something that we have here.
Okay, so I've got to explain.
If you get overgrown zucchinis, I guess they become marrows, but we don't use that term even if they get too big.
So marrows are like, in the little tiny village newspapers, you get these sort of so-and-so has grown an oversized marrow. It's the sort of thing you bring to a village fair to show off how big you managed to grow it.
Right.
That's, for you guys, it's probably pumpkins, I would guess.
Well, I mean,
in the US, or
all that
turnips.
stuff is in the same family, right? Squash of all sorts, cucumbers, zucchinis. It's all the same basic plant, and they'll crossbreed if you put them near each other and all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't really know what sort of temperature potatoes grown in, although I suppose the wet is probably a good shout, considering they kind of come from Ireland. So yeah, you probably grow potatoes, so don't worry about
Here
that.
they come from Idaho, which is
What a
dry.
bizarre conversation
potatoes-
to tangent onto.
Anyhow,
I love the idea.
I think just the fruit will do.
Right, I love the idea, and I love Rico's face as we just get deeper into vegetable growth.
Just
He's
like
just lost himself.
Potatoes. That's so good.
Potatoes.
But no,
Potatoes.
after that, I just want to
Mashed
Henrik
taters.
wants to wander around through the various. I know he'll have to go back inside, I suppose.
That's fine.
To wander around through the various like tradespeople's shops and things.
Okay.
And
are you stopping by the baker or the butcher traditional before you head back out to the market stalls?
well, we just had a nice venison dinner caught by Torin, so
Yeah.
I think I might try to rely on that for now.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort
the
of
one
looking
difference you
around.
get with the with the butcher as opposed to what Torin will catch on the road is sort of smoked goods that will last.
Sure. Well, that's fair.
So
I can
if-
stop
if-
in there then.
If one wishes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have sort of anything that resembles smoked meats, but you can just sort of chuck in chicken and pork and beef.
Sure.
Just one of each. And these will be rations for one meal worth of smoked meats. Just on the odd chance that Torin gets a 3 survival check and turns up with 1 sparrow.
Right.
Or some odd other significant issue. But yeah, other than that, Baker?
Was there a price on the meats?
Yeah, a copper.
Yeah, why not? Why not check out the baker?
So the baker has sort of your basic standard. There are these sort of hunked rolls. They're like somewhere between a loaf and a roll. traditional sort of sourdough breads, and there's
Sure.
a majority of what they sell, and each one of those is a copper shard. So totally up to you.
Yeah.
Take 1, take 5, it don't really matter.
Yeah, I'll take 5 of those.
Yep. And the one other place that I'm guessing you might want to pop into in terms of cooking stuff is the Gatherer's Arms, which sells herbs if you are interested in said herbs.
Oh,
I don't know how your herb stocks are doing. And these are priced individually, so let me go there. Gatherer's Arms. Yeah, so basil, bay leaf, chamomile, cinnamon, clove, garlic, ginger, jasmine, mint, nettle, nutmeg, parsley, rosemary, sage, and thyme. These do cost silver by pound, but you can buy them in the not pound variety. You know, you don't need to walk out with a pound of sage. So yeah, by all means, just divide the prices by 10 and we'll count with a tenth of a pound. A tenth of a pound will probably last you like 20 meals. Because who the hell measures herbs in pounds?
No.
I wouldn't even know what a pound of basil, like,
I mean,
what kind of size is a pound of basil?
Drug dealers measure herbs in pounds.
Kilos.
I mean, what size is a pound of basil? Is that like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. It's big, right? It's a sack.
Depends how much you compress it.
I don't really know how big a pound is, but cool. So as you head in there, I don't mind if you want to A, purchase specific herbs, or B, give her a couple of copper pieces and she'll give you a small selection.
Sure. Selection sounds good.
Yeah, I thought that would be easier. So it'll be all the basics. Garlic, clove, bay leaf, basil, well, basil if you prefer. Ginger, mint, nutmeg, parsley, rosemary, sage, and thyme. You'd have to pay a little extra for things like cinnamon, chamomile, and nettle. These are more sort of tea-making herbs.
Sure,
yeah, so they're a little bit more expensive.
Although cinnamon is nice in a meat sauce.
Cinnamon is good to do anything with, really. I'm drinking cinnamon tea right now. It's
Cinnamon's
really
fancy
nice.
people.
Yeah, it's chamomile, cinnamon, and manuka honey, whatever the fuck that is.
Oh, yeah.
We went to a shop recently, so just tangent off, and it was £65 for a bottle of manuka honey. I've never been so confused in my life. It's like the second most valuable good in history.
Magical bees from Tasmania or wherever.
Something like that. Shitting out pure gold. Cool. If that's it for the food encounters, do you want to head out to those market stalls?
Yes. Looking around just to sort of hang out with those folk and also see if I can catch my eye on something that, if I'm gonna be away from home, something I can put my hands to.
Okay. So over these stalls, you have pretty much everything. You have some people selling clay goods, some people selling baked goods, some people selling fish, and some people selling fishing rods. Some people selling pieces of unworked leather. Some people selling pieces of work leather in bands and pouches and bags. There are hats and cloaks and shirts and skirts and dresses and mess kits and pretty much anything else you can put your imagination to. So, give me an idea of what you're looking for.
Well, I think
what
I'm
might
just
catch
looking
your
around and taking in the milieu of all the tradespeople. But like I said, also sort of looking for something that maybe Hennick likes to be useful and work on things. He believes in hard work, but if he's running around in his cart and walking around with adventuring people, he can't be farming. So looking for something else he can do. And I think that the jewelry store surprisingly attracts his attention because he notices there's some fairly humble pieces in there.
So there's two places that might take his eyes. The first is a wooden jewelry store. This wooden jewelry is sort of beads and baubles, earrings, unusually carved necklaces. All of these are wound onto simple leather thongs that can be worn at the wrist, the neck, or in the ears. And the second is sort of slightly, I don't want to say precious, more like polished rocks, I guess. Again, put onto these leather thongs, but these are sort of be like crystals and even just rocks from the earth that just look nice, that have been whittled down into nice, unusual shapes and polished. I don't know which one he would head to, but both of them are part of the jeweler's art.
Yeah, definitely although he's really focused on the place that looks very simple, when he spots sort of the relatively ordinary rocks in the other place and sees, hey, I've got this affinity with these little stones I'm pulling up all the time, and they're simple. It's not like I'm after some ruby, but you can make something that's perfectly nice and pretty to sort of bring out the natural beauty of an ordinary rock.
Mhm.
That's where
And
he's focused.
One man could not agree with you more than the man standing behind this stool. He is approximately 2'7" in height, and as best described, his face looks like a rock. He is a rock gnome, and he sort of has this large bulbous nose that comes down almost to the top of his lip, and his lip is sort of put in a frown, and there's a bit of sort of light beard going on around here, and he's got nice bushy eyebrows. His skin is almost grey and rock-like. And he looks up at you and, well, what can I do for you?
Well, I just took an interest in some of your simple rock jewelry here that, really bring out the beauty of a simple stone.
Foundation of the earth. They are beauty and they are necessity. Are you looking to buy jewelry or get into the art yourself?
Well, maybe a bit of both. A little inspiration to take with me as I get into the art.
I do have a whittling knife for sale for a copy shop. But if you were to make your way to the Jewelers Guild, you will find Serena? Is that her name? No, that's not her name. Sorry. I will find it. I've got it written down here. You'll find Jalissa. Jalissa teaches those news at the trade. You can get a full set of tools and some guidance on where to start from Jalissa. But perhaps I might interest you in a small bracelet. He picks up a bracelet and there's various sort of coloured crystals on it. These from my homeland, Gazellan.
That's very attractive. Well, not just to you, perhaps. Pointing out their preciousness to others. That's important to some extent. I like that. What would you take for something like that?
All my rock pieces are but 2 copper. The larger crystals, the focusing crystals, are 4 copper. But the jewelry is just 2.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'd take one of those from you. Thank you very much. One of those bracelets there.
Excellent. They're lucky, I think. Or so say the rock gnomes.
Well, let's hope that's true.
I find you more simple and interesting than the regular folks that come through here. They're all well-to-do and snooty. But you look not down your nose, but come from a grounded background, do you?
Indeed, I'm a farmer out in Sandringham.
Worthy trade. My name is Erlen.
It's good to meet you, Erlen.
Might I take yours?
Yeah, my name is Hennick Littlefield.
Sturdy. The Littlefields. A good name.
Yes,
Always did like halfling folks myself. Sensible chaps.
Yeah, well, we tend to have trouble looking down our noses at people, as you say, given where we are, like yourself.
Too. If you are regular to the town of Harbondon, might be worth checking in with the Grinning Ponies. They're a little hasty for halfling folks, but good folks, nonetheless. Oh, it's very hard to hiccup in Rock Gnome.
All right, I might do that. Thank you.
Good day, son.
Yeah. Do I immediately want to go to the guild?
I don't know. So
If I have the time, I
yeah,
think
let's walk it out.
I would
Walk it
wander
in.
there.
You can head in and out, nice and easy. Cool. So you headed to the Jewelers Guild.
Yeah.
Okay, as you enter, you see a sort of glass counter, and inside this glass counter are some fine pieces, but also some simple pieces. Pieces that seem to be very well made. Not necessarily... What's being prized here is the skill of the artisan, not the price of the jewels attached. And standing behind the counter is a woman who's shaven her head completely, and instead wears a circlet of sort of wooden and stone beads all round. And on top of this, she has sort of a wreath of flowers. She has huge wooden jewellery at her ears, and a large sort of baubled necklace, almost like a string of pearls, but made of wood and big around her neck. And she's sort of a little gaunt, and she has elven ears. And I don't think I've seen you here before. Can I help you?
Well, that's as I hasn't been here before.
First time
Would you
visitor.
happen to be Jalissa?
That'll be me. Head of the apprentices at the Jewelers Guild. That's me. And part-time secretary, apparently. Our usual gent is out, sadly. So, what might I do for you?
Yeah, well, I was sent your way by a rock gnome named Erlin out at one of the stalls.
Alan's a true craftsman.
Yeah, indeed, and really put me on to the idea of, well, I wouldn't naturally be too much for finery and frippery and all this sort of things just to make a person. It seems a bit too vain for me, but
The small
I've
folk
noticed.
rarely are.
Yeah, but I've noticed, that there's something you can do with some of these simpler materials, and I see even here at the guild you've done some of that, and I'm thinking it's a trade I might like to take up.
You see that she's got one eyebrow raised, and she sort of looks at you. Do you think wood is a humbler or simpler material than gems or metal?
Humble, but certainly in a good way, right? It's not that there's anything less valuable about it, it's that it doesn't speak up for itself too hard.
You have done well to dig yourself out of that hole, young man. Crafting wood is something I've been doing for 400 years.
Well, digging myself out of holes with words is a trade I've already taken up.
Good. Well, perhaps in the holes you might find things worth working with. Stones, wood. I find that the natural materials, they tell a story of their own. They already know what piece they want to be. Whereas these gems and gold, don't get me wrong, they're pretty and sparkly, but they'll always just be pretty and sparkly. They don't tell a story. Wood's my
That
thing.
is,
As for you, you're looking to apprentice, are you?
Yeah, I think maybe that's the case.
Well, we have one of two apprenticeship schemes. The first is a buy-in, and you will be able to apprentice here and live in. If you're looking to take this up as a full-time trade, that will cost you 50 gold pieces. However, if you are looking to merely become an associate and work with the guild, we will provide you a set of tools, and all we ask is that if you wish to sell any goods, you come through and sell them through us.
Well, that latter option sounds about right. I still think I'm going to be getting back to my farm a fair bit, so I don't want to stay here in the city.
The right place to whittle and farm.
Yeah, and to find an interesting stone or two.
Well, there's tools here for metal, for wood, for stone, for string, for leather, whatever takes your fancy. And she brings you out. It's an old kit. It's all rolled up into one simple piece of leather, a bit like a scroll case, I guess. But you could roll it out and see all the different tools. And she says, there is one item I do have to charge you for, I'm afraid. And she takes a small, it's like a monocle, but it's sort of magnifying. It's 3 copper pieces, given the price of glass these days. If you need one for prospecting.
Oh, that's perfectly understandable. I think I can manage that.
Excellent. Your name, please, if you don't mind.
Yes, my name is Hennick Littlefield.
Hennick Littlefield. Excellent. And just to let you know, we have a... Where are you from? Sandringham, right? The Littlefield?
Yeah, it's from Sandringham, yeah.
Excellent. We have a grinning pony merchant route that comes through Sandringham. Should you wish to sell your goods through the guild, you may hand them over to... Markon. Markon. He is a halfling grinning pony that operates as a traveling merchant. You may pass the goods on to him, and he will sell them through the guild.
Great. Yeah, fantastic. That way, if all this new hubbub in my life don't continue, I'll still be able to maybe keep up with this new interest.
Good. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find peace with it. I certainly always found peace with it. I just realised we were running all the way over here, didn't we? Cool. Well, thank you very much, and I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
If you want any raw materials, you might wish to stop by one of the stores. We don't provide them here.
Well, that's all right. I'll
Yeah,
see what I
so
can.
Leather Endeavors will provide you the leather that you need for that sort of stuff. And as for stones and gems and wood, you can go and buy them, but you can also just pick them up off the ground, which I assume is more Hennick's style.
Yeah, at least for now.
Cool. There is also a tannery, as you know, in Sandringham, where the prices will be ridiculously cheaper.
Yeah, I'm not worried about any of it right now.
Cool. Thought you might not be, but worth mentioning. Is there anywhere else that Hennick would like to go before heading down to Furlock's for dinner?
Not at all. He might just sit in the, if there's too much time, sit in the Illustrious Merchant, I believe it's called,
Yep.
something like that.
And listen
just,
to the bardic tales.
yeah, and just not be in the fancy tavern.
Yeah. Well, the Illustrious Merchant is sort of it's fancy in terms of the drink it provides, but it's very humble in terms of the food it provides. It's mostly an entertainment bar. People come, they will sip on one ale or one wine and listen to the tales and the songs of the bards. As you enter in here, you will see that there are two bards. One is a young lass. She is... Do you know that? Yeah, I guess. She's a half-elf. And she's got sort of light blonde hair pulled back. Her name's Rose, and she's playing on a lute and singing. And the other is a satyr. This gentleman sort of is doing a small dance as he's telling a tale in front of the fireplace. And upon inquiring, you may find out that his name is Torgalon. And I don't know if at any point you will interact with them, but it's worth knowing.
Sure.
And as you sit listening to his tale, we shall move on to Sebastian. Sebi, where are you going?
I'm going to head on over to Furlock's.
Okay. So let's grab ourselves this. Oh, you're also quite big. Okay. So you head on down to Furlock's shack, and we are going to switch screen. So we leave the Adventurers Guild in the dust, and we enter into Furlock's shack. So as you approach this shack from the outside, you see this sort of humble shack next to a tree. But you know this is but a trick. And as you knock upon the door, you hear, "Yes?"
Furlock, it's me.
"Oh, come on in, Sebastian. Careful, on the left-hand side. There's something smoking. Don't knock it over." And as you enter on in, you come into this magnificent, high libraried tower. Over on the left, you see some bubbling potions that appear to be sort of pale blue. One of them is almost overflowing. And on the right-hand side, you see he is in Furlock himself. And he seems to be involved in some kind of jousting session with an unusual-looking small creature. It's a rabbit, but it's stood right up on 2 feet, and it's holding a sort of thin stick, and it's poking at him. And he is also holding a thin stick and poking back at it. He looks over at you very quickly and, come on in, take a seat. I'll be with you in a second. How are you doing?
As I walk in, I'll take my bag off and put it on a table and lean my staff against the table, and I'll go and take a seat. I'm good. How are you?
Well, yes, I've been experimenting since your happy accident. Well, I've managed to give this thing some sort of humanity, but it doesn't seem to be very useful. Also, I've made it entirely very aggressive. So I've spent the last week trying to quell an aggressive and rather boisterous rabbit. Apart from that, doing great. You've come in on a non-merchant day. How did you get here?
Oh, I travelled here with a couple of friends from home.
You travelled on the road, all adventure style.
Sure, if you want to call it that. Listen, I need to tell you something. It's pretty exciting, and I'll stand up from my seat.
Give me a second then, and you see he he throws his stick as a distraction. The rabbit sort of leaps towards the stick, and he gestures with one hand and says a small incantation, and the rabbit is immediately held in place like this, completely petrified. Standing in the middle of the room, and he looks over at you. Oh, better. Let me get you a drink. And he sort of waves his hand and hands you a purple, bubbling drink in a long, thin glass.
I'll put the drink down on the side. The drink can wait, Furlock. This is.
Can wait.
Yes,
Tell me.
I know. It's pretty crazy.
Tell me. Come on, spit it out. Spill the beans.
So like, I don't know really the ins and outs of it, but all I know is that the weave channeled itself through me.
A vast claim. Can you demonstrate?
I can prove it if you'd like.
Please, go on, demonstrate. I've got a mana potion sitting on the side if you need it, or afterwards you can drink it. It's that pale green one in the bottle. But anyway, go on. Go ahead and... Oh, you finally got your tables, haven't you? Exciting.
Okay, I am going to cast this on him.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So like, Sebastian's body rises slightly off the ground as his eyes dilate and his mouth slightly open, and as blue, like magic circles him, it then rushes into Furlock's body. I've casted jump on him.
Looks at you. And you didn't prepare that today, and the hovering and the levitate and none of it?
I can't control that. I come back down when it's finished, but...
You speak truly. You are channeling the wave directly through yourself. That's magnificent. Take the potion. You can just drink the potion and put your spell slot back. This is fascinating. We're going to have to correspond further on this. Have you named it?
Yes, I have dubbed it Ataxia.
Ataxia. What an excellent name. Well,
What did it do to you?
I believe... And he sort of spins on the spot in a nice pirouette and then leaps up into the air. And then he grabs a book just to show off from like halfway up the tower in the library books. And he comes down to the ground and I believe you've given me the power to spring mightily. But what is more interesting is that you did not seem to choose this. Fantastic. Does it also produce more nefarious magics? Perhaps fire or lightning?
Yes, it has been known to protect me in some offensive ways.
But it allows you to discern friend from foe.
Yes.
Ah, an important thing. I had a sorcerer friend once. He didn't always know what his magic was going to do. He once blew up a chicken coop. It was a true tragedy. Nevertheless, if you've got control over it and you can discern friend from foe, that's magnificent. Are you staying the night?
Well, me and my accompanying party don't actually have a place to stay.
First of all, you're lying. He's not going to make a deception check. You booked a room at the Silver Knight Inn. Secondly, he doesn't have a room for you to sleep, but he is inviting you to dinner.
I don't remember doing such things.
No, but I did mention it.
Sure, we will be very appreciative.
Oh, wonderful. How many am I feeding?
5.
Fantastic. I've got some... No vegetarians, right? I don't trust them.
No, I don't believe so.
Good.
I've
got something very interesting prepared. You mustn't tell them the secret, but it looks like a cake. It's not a cake.
I'm quivering with anticipation, Phil.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. Well, I'm sure you've got some duties about the town. Go on, be about the town and come back for dinner, and we'll talk more then. Yes? I want to finish this experiment. The rabbit is jousting.
Okay, well, good luck with the jousting rabbit, Verloc.
And as you haven't taken a mouthful yet, he leans over, nicks your drink, and downs it. He hiccups twice, and each time he hiccups, it plays a little tune. And he gestures for you to be on your merry way.
I'll pick up my bag and my stuff as I walk out.
Excellent. Where are you headed?
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go to the Mage Guild.
Excellent. You take the long walk there, and standing outside the door in a deep blue robe is Tomnik. Tomnik looks up to you. Ah, Sebastian, go on in.
I will do so.
Okay. As you get in, you see a mage that you haven't seen before. He's got a very fine, twisted, curved moustache. He's definitely human. He has his hair oiled back and then turned into ringlets down at either side. He looks very vain. His mage's robe has sort of gold embellishment on it. It's black, and on the inside are red sleeves. And he looks over to you. Might I help you?
Yes, I'd like to speak to Serena, please.
And who might you be? Are you a member here?
I'm a very good friend.
Sure you are. Excellent. Okay, very well. Let me book you in. Will next Thursday be okay?
He needs to make a wisdom save.
That's a 5.
Yeah, so my eyes go big and puffy, and my body looks really small. I'm sure you can get me in. Take another look. Meow.
Serena did say something about a cute house cat that is also a person. Boy, you have very big eyes. Go straight through on the right.
Thank you. As I walk past him, like my hips and tail are just like swaying.
As you go straight through to Serena, she's behind a desk. Her hair is up in a bun, but right now she currently has her quill stuffed through the bun, like so as to hold it. She's got sort of 3 or 4 scrolls in her hands, and she's looking towardly over a few different ones. Spare me a second. There we go. As you see, she's sort of behind the desk. Standing in the very center is this sort of green gold swirling orb. And she's rustling with some papers, and she hears you come in. Oh, Sebastian! Sebastian, come on in. Oh, I thought you avoided this place like the plague. Come over. Let's talk.
What's with the orb?
The orb? The orb's always there. You didn't get stopped by that idiot at the door, did you?
He tried to, but I can be very persuasive sometimes.
Apologies, Miguel is, well, he thinks himself important. Don't worry about him. Excellent. Well, the orb, you say? The orb has been there since the founding of the Harbondan Mages Guild. It was discovered in a unusual ruin, one of the old Moon Elf ruins in northern Veralia, approximately 2212. I can't remember who discovered it. It has a very magnificent property, though. If you put it in any room, it can recount anything else that's in the room if you ask it directly. So, for example, if you walked up to it and said, "Please tell me where the copy of the Alchemist's Compendium is," the orb will glow and show you the shelf, and the book itself will glow as well. Fairly useful in a library, but other than that, not particularly exciting, though people have been trying to work out its origin for many years. Anyway, you said you had something. How can I help you? Please. Activate.
Sorry. I'm just looking at something.
Please don't stare gawp. Don't just gawp at me. I've got things to be doing, places to be, things to do. What can I do for you?
I'm gonna walk up to the orb and I'm gonna whisper to it. Tell me where the scroll for after image is.
She looks over. Oh, you've asked it for something that's not in the room. Anything in particular? Something I can help you with?
think it's broken.
It's not
Could I
broken. What can
take
I do for you?
Thanks.
What are you looking for?
Do you have a scroll for after image?
After image? Never heard of it. Actually, I did hear reference to something, an image that follows you around. It's a strange... What was it? Kenneth. Kenneth and Yavon were talking about it at the Seekers Guild. Apparently there's an etching in a cave somewhere up in northeast Harbonne. They're asking somebody to excavate it. I think they said something about an image that followed you around. Could have been an after image that you talked of. It's the only reference I can think of. Anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, I'll walk on over back to her. What are the benefits of joining the guild?
Benefits of joining the Mages Guild, you get to study alongside other like-minded folks, such as... Wait, there aren't many of those here. Most of them are quite boring and uninteresting. But regardless, there are at least some people you might occasionally consult on matters of interest. Most importantly, resources, access to basic levels, spells and scrolls, the occasional lesson if you wish to come and learn of the more unusual and interesting arts, access to the library, of course, which is the only reason I joined, and well, news travels fast, so occasionally when new magics come to light, the Mage's Guild will pass it on to his members. But realistically, there aren't many benefits other than access to the library and the odd scroll. But it costs you nothing. Why not?
What kind of unusual lessons?
A few months ago, a woman came in from the manufactory, Kinya? Gave lessons on creating your own arcane focus. It was absolutely fascinating. She was very interesting. We've got a speaker next month who's speaking on being able to cast spells without their verbal components. A few months hence, we've got another one who's talking about multiple targeting spells. Well, it's more, you probably want to visit an actual decent Mages Guild, not this backhouse outlet. But nevertheless, some of the good ones have some great speakers. I myself gave a speech there once, in Norvalen, about proper methods of research, and, well, I suppose I bored everybody like I normally do, but nevertheless, yes, speeches, regular things, books, library. What were you asking about?
I'm currently not looking at her. I'm kind of like looking elsewhere. She's kind of bored, Sebastian.
She's quite good at that. She looks at you, but yes, joining the Mages Guild, excellent. You should. It doesn't cost anything. Easy benefits, occasional scrolls. Yeah, like this one, and she just sort of grabs one of her scrolls and just shoves it in your face.
What scroll is it?
Roll a d20, and I'll tell you.
If I roll a 20, can it be after image?
No! I've told you that the Mages Guild only give you non-homebrew spells.
13.
A 13, you say? That is... minor protection from energy. Here, take that. Do something with it. I don't know. Sell it. Give it to somebody. Study it. I don't care what you do. It's an abjuration spell.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of like putting it in my bag.
Yeah, just spare.
Aggressively
yes,
shoved it in my face.
join the Mages Guild. Get free scrolls. Use the library. Ask interesting questions. And forget they ever exist. That's what I suggest. Or end up in a library for 40 years like me.
Where am I signing up?
She finally puts her scrolls down and she looks at you. I'm sorry, Sebastian. Signing up to the Mages Guild. Yes. Come with me. And she walks you through the library, and you can see, like, as she leaves the library, people are looking at her like, the fuck are you doing here? Like, you don't leave the library. And she guides you to a gentleman. His name is Arlik. And she says, this is Arlik. He is probably best to welcome a new apprentice. He is a little more consistent than I. Arlik looks over and... Serena, what brings you out the library? And he accepts... Sebastian, I take it. Come to finally join our ranks, have you?
I mean, Serena's not exactly sold me on the idea.
Well, the benefits of the Mages Guild are many. Perhaps I might
Well,
inform you.
Serena just said that you guys don't really account to much and don't really do much, and that there are plenty of other better mage guilds out there. So
You don't
Isn't
join
that
one
right,
Mages
Serena?
Guild. You join the whole collective. Serena is probably right that from her perspective we offer her very little. She wishes to do research and we give her a library to sit in and do research. But for those more experimental or adventurous mages, we can provide spell components on a regular basis. We can give you access to our many libraries should you wish to learn about unusual magics or spells. We have teachers who might teach you unusual arts, such as we have a teacher who's going to be teaching about subtle magic, he so calls it, if you wish to learn that sort of art a month hence. However, she is right that the larger mages guilds do have teachers on a more regular basis. You will also be, of course, protected by our own. If you are ever in trouble, you may call out to us, and we shall try and do our best to respond. We have no small amount of magical artifacts available for sale, and at a discount price, I might add, especially a discount to the Mystical Emporium, for example, which is a great shop. We can tell you of unusual magics as they're being unveiled, and we can provide scrolls of lower levels so that you can learn spells. All of this for the grand price of reporting any research that you do along your travels back to the Mages Guild. Does that interest you, young man?
What? Sure.
Great.
Yes.
I'll
I will
write you
join.
down. What's your name?
You just said my name.
Your surname. Family name, please.
Belmont?
Belmont. Belmont.
Yes.
Excellent. And do you have a particular school of magic that you are interested in or you most associate yourself with?
I am a child of all magic.
Child of all magic. I'll write that down. Excellent. Yes, it's a single copper piece to attend most lessons. Occasionally it's a silver piece if the speaker's very important. Other than that, it is free to be part of the Mages Guild and free to use all their resources. If you wish to stay in one of the dormitories, you just need to check in and make sure there's a room available. And please make yourself at home. Thank you very much, Sebastian. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
I'll leave the Mages Guild at this point, and as I walk around, just muttering in my breath, a bunch of freaks.
Anywhere in particular you're going?
I think I want to go to wherever Kenneth and Yaven are.
Kenneth and Yaven at the Seekers Guild. Interesting.
Yes.
So
Seekers.
as you enter the Seekers Guild, you see that this guild has sort of strange rock-like artifacts, unusual magical items sort of stuck to the wall. It's sort of a bit like a temple in style. On the desk are scattered unusual and strange different tools, and a gentleman looks up at you. He is quite young. He's quite confident. Good day, good day. Might I help you?
Hi, I'm looking for Kenneth and Yaven.
Kenneth and Yevon. Yevon and Kenneth will be, as per usual, in the excavation room. Might I inquire the nature of your business?
Yes, I have news for them from the Mage Guild.
Excellent. All right, go on through. Go down the corridor, second right.
I will follow those directions.
Okay, and as you get to this room, there is a sort of table on the top, in the center of the room, that is covered in sort of light soil, it looks. And at the very center is a strange... It's like a gemstone in terms of it's got lots of facets, but it appears to be made of glass, and inside is a small red beam of light that it appears to be trying to escape and zipping around inside. One man is hunched over it. He's got a long beard and sort of very bushy eyebrows and appears to be human, watching it as it goes to and fro. And the other is a dragonborn, a black dragonborn. He sort of looks down straight at it, and he appears to be casting a spell continuously on the gem. The gentleman with the bushy eyebrows looks up at you and... Good day. Might I be of assistance? You're Sebastian, right? The mage has turned himself into a cat. That you? What's your name?
My name is Sebastian.
Cool. That's cool. I'm Raylon, and this here is Yevon. And he gestures towards the Black Dragonborn. Give him a moment, he'll come out of his concentration. He snaps his fingers in front of Yevon's face a few times. Yevon... Ah, we have a visitor. Oh, good day. What can I do for you, sir?
I bring some information from the Mage Guild. They would like to know about a recent discovery that you've made with a man called Kenneth.
Kenneth was an excavationer. He's most recently posted to a cave in the northeast of Harbondon. Found himself some weird etching on the wall to do with an image that follows you around, a magic spell of some sort. We're looking for somebody to excavate it permanently. What does the Mage Guild want to do with it?
The Mage Guild would like to lend its assistance. If you could let me know the location, I can tell them and we can start helping.
Okay. You don't seem to be wearing Mage's Guild robes. Do you have a letter of designation? You know this is an open job. Anyone can take it. You want to go and see it for yourself. I'll admire the initiative.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Well, just in case your curiosity gets the better of you, here's a map. And he hands you a map. Everyone should share in knowledge. If you can find it, then you can have it. It's what's so exciting, digging up unusual knowledge. Now come. And he'll give you the book. He'll give you the scroll, which depicts a map, and I will show you where it is on the map in a moment. Anything else, Sebastian?
I would tend to leave. Again, muttering under my breath. What a bunch of freaks.
Anywhere else you're going?
I don't think so. Yeah, I'll probably just head on back to Thorlock and watch him be stupid and wait for everyone else to arrive.
Cool. So, Torin, as you leave the Adventurers Guild, sorry to keep you all waiting, but Torin, where are you going? There is no way to do this as a group, so it's just going to have to be one by one.
It's all good. So before he leaves to go anywhere, I just wanted to I guess Torin would like to make sure with Natasha. We received some leather armor in last session, yeah? So yeah, Torin would sort of ask, like, Natasha, dear, would you mind if I took this leather armor and perhaps try to rework it to fit someone of my size? I know that, well, I don't doubt your healing prowess, but perhaps we can avoid an incident like earlier. And he'll sort of like rub his like shoulder.
Sure.
Yeah, wonderful.
So like she'll be sitting on a bench, like pretty stone faced, just kind of like watching the clouds go by and occasionally like blinking. She doesn't blink a lot, by the way. And she'll. Do I have the armor?
I think Torin was carrying it round because he's bigger and stronger, but in general, yeah, it was sort of undecided who was walking off with it.
And then after she says sure, she'll pause for a while, look at the clouds again, and if you're still there, she'll say, I can help if you want.
Well, I mean, if you'd like to accompany me, I was thinking of heading over to the Leatherworkers Guild.
Give me a sec. Well, I was going to... Where the fuck is the Leatherworkers Guild? Sorry,
it's the one unlabeled building between the Jewelers Guild and the Potters. It's here.
Well, I actually wanted to go to the Weavers Guild.
The Tailors Guild it would be. The one just north.
So
that's the Guild of Weavers. Yeah, Guild of Weavers. Sorry, yeah. Okay.
They're just next to each other.
Cool. So as the two of you head out together, do we have a... Oh my god, the face is bigger than the Warriors Guild. As the two of you head over, you're able to enter into the Leatherworkers Guild. And standing behind the counter in the Leatherworkers Guild is what appears to be a salesman. He's quite dapper. He's got a leather jerkin on and a leather doublet, and this sort of long eyelashes and a bit of a smirk on his face. And, good day. How might I help you? Are you interested in purchasing something or making a commission?
Oh, well, actually, I had this dusty old set of armor, and I'll sort of lay it down on the table. And
Good God. It's in a shape, isn't it?
yes, it's seen better days, I presume.
I give you a copper shard for it.
Well, I was actually wondering, could you rework this to fit someone of my
Craftsman! And he just
Stat.
gestures to another room to his right. And just sort of, you can see he's just waiting for you to take the dust off his counter. As you pick it up, he sort of points through the archway to where there is a large gentleman with a big smile on his face, big ginger beard, a large chest and stomach. And come on through, craftsman! Yeah, come on! And he gestures you to come up to the counter.
greetings, friend.
Greetings. Don't mind Nick. He's a miserable sod. Proper craftsman. What can I do for you?
Oh, my name is Torin. This is my associate, Natasha.
Excellent. And are you leather workers? Are you tanners? What's your business?
Well, I suppose you could say that I'm an aspiring leather worker, but
The best
The
kind.
reason
They're
I've-
all aspiring.
the reason I've come here is that I have this old set of leather armor that I was wondering if I could have reworked into fitting someone of my size.
There's barely enough leather to go around your ear, but I tell you what there is a very good quality. Somebody made this very well a long time ago. Perhaps if we made a cut here and a cut here. He lays it down. Can I draw on it?
Yeah, certainly.
He takes a piece of charcoal, starts making lines. Said you're aspiring. You want to do part of the cutting yourself? Should we do it together? I've got
If
nothing
you
on my
don't mind.
I've got nothing on my docket for today. Take about an hour. You sticking around, young lass? You also aspiring leather worker? What's the plan?
Torin, if it's okay, I'll just go around to the Weavers Guild and I'll come back in an hour.
All right, that sounds lovely.
See you in a bit, lass. It gets smelly in here. Sorry. If you're headed to the Weavers Guild, say hello to my friend over there. She's lovely. Her name's Saya. She'll look after you.
And your name was?
My name was, he's Gavros.
Gavros.
Have I? Is Gavros somebody else? Have I missed something? Alright, I have no idea who Gavros is. I've made a mistake, I guess. Or a reference, one of the two. Anyway, yeah, okay, so it's a reference. Fine, I'm absolutely okay with not knowing it then. Well, what did you say your name was? Sorry, Torin, was that the one?
That's right, Torin Goldenbrand.
You got yourself a set of tools?
I do actually. They were my father's.
Oh, marvelous. Ooh,
And he rolls out some dust.
as you roll them out, he looks at them and... Your father's some kind of huntsman?
Yes, he was a fine huntsman.
There's some good tools in there, but most of them are based on animal skins. Right, come on over, and he puts out sort of this large wooden board. He clamps down the armor and sort of winks at you, and then he goes to a chest to the side and he pulls out some sort of basically tanned leather, and he lays it down on the side next to it. And first tool of a leatherman's tricks, the shears. And he takes a knife and he starts cutting down the chiseled lines, you know. And he's just cut it into tatters, basically. And he starts packaging it round. And can I take some measurements? Is that all right? Before you've even responded, he's already wrapping string round you, like making marks, making movers. He shows you which bits of
yes,
you
I
he's
suppose.
measuring and sort of where the protection needs to be best. And it needs to be thicker, sort of here over the breasts, thicker at the sides here. You want to protect your kidneys. Shows you how to do a proper neck plate. You know, blah, 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 and he starts smacking bits of leather down. Please make an intelligence check at advantage.
At advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fail me now.
Last time you rolled at advantage, you got a 2.
Yeah. I think it was a 5.
Was it a... Yeah, okay,
Ooh.
5 to 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Today we are...
13. Not
Excellent.
terrible.
As you watch this, you're sort of making marks in your head, and he sort of catches this, and he's like, there's a book on the side over there. Yeah, grab it, just there. And he points over to this sort of really dusty tome that's been sort of written in big black charcoal letters. It tells you about the basic cuts and measurements for working a piece of armor. It's all the simple stuff's in there. Keep it. Oh, I've got tons of them. Can't really read anyway. And then he starts sort of measuring you up, and well, come on then. And he hands you this sort of large sailor's needle, and you can sew it up. There's the thread. Best thread you can sew with is your hair, but after that, a good piece of silk is excellent.
I fear I don't have any hair.
well, scales probably don't make much of a thread. Anyway, let's go at it. And he shows you which seams to sew along. And as sort of an hour has passed, he finally finishes up this piece of leather and, well, let's see it on you.
So Torin will sort of take off his doublet thing and flip it on him.
He takes his belt knife from his belt and almost before you can react, he just goes and jabs you in the chest.
Ugh.
The blade sort of stops in the leather and there we go. Another fine piece of work. Paid it down to Gavros. Excellent. He looks at you and I do have to charge for the thread if that's alright. Nothing else, absolutely fine. My time's not an expensive purchase, but the thread costs me a bugger. A couple of copper shards if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
He's just asking for 2 copper shards.
Done.
Well, aspiring are you? I tell you what, we don't get much in terms of commission work here. But if you skin any animals and you happen to have the hides free, or if you tan too much leather and you want to bring it over, give you a good price, Torin. I've got your name down here.
I'll remember, thank you.
Perhaps
Gavros.
as you get further in your craft, you might come and do some work here.
With any luck.
Okay. Torin, where are you headed after that?
So Torin will
I know
probably
that
put
realistically
leather on.
Natasha's going to bounce back and see you, but I'm not going to keep doing this interweaving thing because we'll run out of time and we won't roleplay everything. So let's. Just
So I
on.
will say that after Natasha comes back, I'll show off the leather a little bit, ooh la la, and then I will tell her that I have some business to take care of at the Silver Sword.
Okay.
Um,
You head up to
I'll
the
head off
Silver
the
Sword, and as you enter, you see a Leonin with a fine great sword on his back. It's huge. He looks down at you. He's got this sort of incredible mane of deep red. Well, who might you be?
the name is Torin Goldenbrand.
Ah, the Golden Brands. Your father is a disappointment, but your grandfather was a legend. Well,
He was a call after all.
I'm sure Yorkrath will want to see you at some point. Name's Bane, by the way.
Bane, you say?
Acquaintance. And he sort of slaps his massive mitt out for you to shake. I mean, he's sort of nearing 9 foot tall, and he's got shoulders like boom out here. Squeezes you hard. Pleasure. Right, let me show you through. Yorkrath's out back. He's training the young Rogar kid. Kid don't know which end of a sword to hold. Come on through. Come on through. And he leads you through, and he gestures towards Yorkrath, and the Silver Dragonborn sort of looks up and, oh, Torin, excellent. Do come on in. What can I do for you? It's nice of you to finally turn up. You taking training today? You full coming to apprentice? What's the plan?
A little bit of training, Uncle. How's Rogar faring?
Absolutely useless. Still doesn't know which end of a sword to handle. Look at him. And you see as Rogar is doing quite well, really. He's got a long sword out and he's sort of jabbing at a training dummy. He's doing perfectly fine. He's practicing his point. But you can't help but notice there's this sort of slight flourish. The guy's a bit of a ponce. Every time he does it, it's just this sort of flourishing maneuver. He looks like a gay man trying to wield a pickaxe. It's definitely a sight to behold. But nevertheless, Yorkrath looks at you. He'll do. Haven't got much time for the training today, but if you come to sign on in full, perhaps we can get around to some. Has your mother agreed yet?
I'm afraid not, Uncle. She's rather reluctant to the idea, and
Don't worry, she'll die one day. I shouldn't say things like that, should I? Well,
may she live. May she live a dragon's lifetime.
may she help. God, I'm glad my mother didn't. She was a dragon in more than one way. Anyway, I'll keep trying to persuade her, but in the meantime, I do have something for you, Torin. I had these commissioned a while back.
What's that?
I know that your mother does some leather work, but it's not quite the same. And I know you don't yet have a sword to fit it, but I thought that one day, maybe when you take your grandfather's sword, then perhaps this might be... Well, I made them matching for yourself and Rogar. And he takes out 2... Rogar, come here! He takes down... He takes out from under the desk 2 sort of ornate leather hilts with slight gold filigree around them. And these are both in the sign of Bahamut. And they're very elegantly done, and each one has a single gem in it. One has a ruby, and the other one has a sapphire. And he puts the sapphire one in front of Rogar and puts the other to you. And I know that perhaps you're not to become shield brothers, and your grandfather's histories are just that, your grandfather's histories, but you should have a safe place for a blade when you get a true dueling weapon. Perhaps you might get one commissioned, or perhaps you might wield your grandfather's. When that day comes, this will hold it. This sheath is designed for a rapier. It will not hold any other weapon.
Gotcha. This is too much, Uncle. I'm touched.
Oh, good. But part of it's for your safety, and part of it's out of respect. Your grandfather was a very good man, and he taught me well.
Aye, that he was.
Anyway, I better get on with this rascal's training. Is there anything else I can do for you, Torin?
No, not at the moment, Uncle. But perhaps yes, I'd like to come by sometime soon and have a go at another spar, perhaps.
Excellent. We shall do so. I'm sorry that I'm so busy today.
And that's quite all right.
And Rogar sort of looks at you and gives you an impish smile as he sort of waves his little sword hilt around and like, yeah, we're cool. That's the sort of way he's looking at you.
Yeah, I'll sort of like jab him at the ribs a little bit, give him a wink.
Teenagers who've just been given really cool beer tankards, that's how he's sort of envisioning this. And is there anywhere else you'd like to go, Torin?
Actually,
cool, that makes
where can I find a pipe?
A pipe? What, a smoking pipe?
A smoking pipe, yes.
You could commission one from the Woodworkers Guild, or you can go to you could try the Mystic Emporium, magical items. You could try the Toy Maker of Toys and Trinkets, maybe. Or Heartstrings, the Bard Instruments place. I would suggest the Mystic Emporium is probably the best.
Yeah, let's try the Mystic Emporium, I say.
So, as we head down to the Mystic Emporium, which is... Where's the Merchant's Portal? Cool, it's all small to my little eyes. There we go. Okay. And as you enter in, Neldor is finally stroking his beard behind the counter. As he looks over the counter at you. And he, sort of, Oh.
Hello there!
Hello. A Dragonborn. Unusual. Don't normally see your kind in here. Can I help you?
Well, actually, I stumbled upon this place. I'm looking for a pipe, a smoking pipe.
A smoking pipe? No man is without a good pipe.
Well, that's what my grandfather used to say. He was one of the greatest men that I've ever known.
I have two.
And he...
I have the self-lighting pipe over here, and the ever-smoking pipe.
Please do explain.
So this pipe here, as you pack your pipe within it, when you are ready, you simply tell it to light, and it lights itself. That is 6 copper pieces. And over here I have the ever-smoking pipe. It will always smoke, even if there is no pipe weed placed inside it. Good for a good show. That there, I believe. That is 3 copper pieces.
So, Torin, being the noble idiot that he is, will obviously take the more expensive of the two.
The self-lighting pipe, yes.
The self-lighting pipe, indeed.
Convenient.
This is some fine work here.
He looks at you and, Dragonborn of the golden kind, taking a self-lighting pipe. You can see him just doing the calculations in his head, going, "What kind of fucking idiot are you? You can light it with your own breath." And then he just sort of sells you the pipe. Great.
Well, I wouldn't want to waste my breath weapon on lighting a pipe.
No, but well, I thought you guys just could smoke out your nose automatically. Anyway, is there anything else I might do for you?
No, this will do fine.
Great.
Your name was?
Neldor.
Neldor. Pleased to meet you. Torin.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Hand over the money and yes, be on my way.
Great. Where would you be on your way to?
if it's not the time to rendezvous at Furlocks, I'd likely just wander around the city.
A slow walk will get you to Furlocks at about the right time.
Yeah.
And we will come to
I'll
Natasha.
test out. I was gonna say I'll test out my new pipe.
Good, you smoke away. Natasha, sorry to keep you waiting, my darling. Where are you? Your Tailor's Guilding, Weaver's Guilding, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. As you head into the Weaver's Guild, there is an older lady behind the counter. She has 2 knitting needles in her hand, and she's twiddling them round like this. And on the counter sits a basket that she appears to be appraising. As you come in, Oh! Good morning, how can I help you?
Hello. Gavros sent me.
Gavros. Ah, great! Tell me what, Gavros, it's not just leather he works well. Oh, lass, what can I do for you?
I was wondering if you could help me improve my stitch.
Improve your stitch? I could help you with a lot of those things, but, come around here. And she gestures you sort of into the small room where there are weaver's tools sort of sat out. There is a large loom at the back that you can work. And there are lots of these rooms in a sort of line down the corridor. And these are the workers' rooms. Are you a budding weaver or are you an experienced one?
I guess you could say a little bit in between. I know weaving from like my medicine background, but I don't actually know weaving in terms of clothes.
Excellent. So we don't tailor clothes as much here as we weave things like baskets, reed armors, unusual attachments to clothes, if you like, various pockets and pouches, those sorts of things. But we've been known to do the odd, unusual dress, etc. Well, yes. Now I did have. How did I put it? She sort of wanders out, just leaving you there, and heads down the corridor. And you're waiting for sort of 5 or 10 minutes.
I'll follow her.
Eventually, you sort of come out, and a different woman comes down the corridor. And hello there, darling. Can I help you?
I was speaking with your other
Sire?
affiliate.
Sire?
Yeah.
No chance? Oh, excellent. Well, where did she leave you, darling? I'm so sorry, child. My name's Thelma. She has a habit of doing that to Sire. Excellent weaver. Mind like a sieve. Were you looking to apprentice here?
Yeah, she was gonna teach me how to improve my weaving skills.
Ah, well, okay. First of all, let's get you an apprentice kit. Come on with me. And she takes you up to the counter. And she gets you out this sort of bag. Do you have weaver's tools on you?
Nope.
Okay. So she hands you a set of weaver's tools. With all the necessary accomplices. And, well, you'll need a first piece of material to work on, won't you, darling? And she brings down what is like a set of reeds that you may weave into a basket or pouch. And she hands them over. And always best to start with baskets. Baskets are the simplest, but they're very useful. They sell well. I please ask that you sell all weaved items through us where possible, because, of course, you know, it pays for your apprenticeship. And beyond that, well, there are some books out the back that you can have a little look at, but the best way to learn is to practice. And if you want to come and sit down, darling, we can do some weaving together. We've got a weaver's room out the back. I'm sure that's where Sire meant to bring you, but well, I said, mind like a sieve. She'll be sewing out there. Let me take you with me. And she leads you to where there's just a bunch of old ladies sitting around weaving baskets.
For the first time in the campaign, Natasha's gonna smile.
Good!
Wow, I feel right at home.
Oh, come on, take a seat, darling. I'm Thelma. This is Sire. This is Patricia. This is Mesmer. And your name?
Hi everyone, I'm Natasha. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, wonderful. Come on, take a seat. Come on, and with that, you can weave baskets for as long as you wish. Where else did you wish to errand throughout the day? Because we will come back to your basket weaving, depending
Could
on
I
how long it's
grab
gonna be.
a book as well so I can read it on my
They
journey?
They will pack you up with as many books as they can get in your pack. They are lovely little old ladies. Where would you be headed from there?
Will I have time to do both the Brewers Guild and the Temple of the Thunder?
I would say you can go and register at the Brewers Guild, but other than that, they're probably not going to do anything with you. They'll just take note of your name. They'll know your parents, and they will contact you in due time. So we'll just bypass that and take you down to the Temple of the Thunder. As you get to the Temple of the Thunder, you see that there's a queue outside the door. Each of these people looks downtrodden, struggling. It's clear signs of poverty. There's a gentleman who has but a crutch and one leg. There's another gentleman standing there who's appears to have some sort of pockmarked disease.
Okay,
And-
both me and Natasha want to flex a little bit,
Okay.
and hopefully flex a little bit of our healing powers now.
Well, just to finish explaining to you, as you look down the line, you see that a young girl, under Penelope's guidance, is stopping at each person, and she is washing their hands, washing their face, and then handing them a small pouch of food. So most of them are not in need of healing. Obviously, you're not going to be able to return a man's leg, but you could stop by the man who's got the pockmarked disease, or there is a younger gentleman, perhaps in his early 20s, who appears to have a large gash in the side of his sort of chest, and he's holding his shirt like close to it, but the blood is dripping out.
Okay, so I'll go to him first because he seems in a bit more of a need.
Oh, I don't think I know you. Do I know you?
I don't think we've met. My name is Natasha, and I'm here to help.
Oh, that's good. I Gorm. Was
Hi,
guarding.
Gorm.
I was guarding, you know? They told me keep watch. And then
That's okay,
then the
Gorm.
man with the dagger, and ow. It hurts.
That's okay. Let's get you taken care of, and I'm gonna concentrate on my closed wounds cantrip and see if that will suffice.
Okay. As you're concentrating away, you lose yourself in the healing. And a few minutes later, you feel a hand on your shoulder. Well, somebody's picked it up quickly, eh? And
Mom, just kidding. I don't say that.
Penelope looks down at you and you've done a damn good job. Gorm here is always getting himself in scrapes. I think he's easily led by the nose, but he's a good man. And she hands the food up to Gorm, and you see, she gestures towards the young girl. This is Helena. Helena, this is Natasha. She's also a budding healer. Though she isn't committed to full temple life, she's not going to be a priestess. But she preaches the word on the way. How's it going, Natasha?
Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I think after seeing the fight and understanding what Lathander represents, I think I am willing to carry the banner of Lathander. I feel like I want to have his guardianship over me when I fight, his light, his need to always believe in a second chance.
He also believes in only fighting when it's necessary. Don't forget that. And,
Yeah.
We'll get you a book of the good word when we get inside. For now, obviously, we must finish the line, as it's time for feeding. You've
Well, I'll
done a
do
great
some
job
more-
there, but would you mind just grabbing a couple of those food sachets and just hand them out down the end of the line? So each person is coming forward, and they're still queuing after they've got their food. The food isn't the only thing they're here for. They're also here for the blessings of Lathander, which are being conducted by a man you've not met. As you go towards the food stalls, you see a gentleman who is quite tall. He must be in his early 50s, but he's aged before his time, greying hair and kindly blue eyes, and he looks down. And, may the blessing of Lathander be upon you, I wish, giving his blessings, and he looks over. Ah, child, come here. And he gestures to you, Natasha. The light is upon you already. You are a healer. You must be the girl Penelope spoke about.
Well, she did mention another girl, so she might be talking
No,
about her.
Helena's outside. She's doing the washing today. No, she mentioned a girl who came by and gave her bond a while back from Sandringham. We wondered what become of you. Excellent. I have something for you. And he goes out the back and he's going to hand you a book of the good word, which is basically just a book of Lathander. And he is also going to hand you a strange story. It's like a small kid's book. And this book is... Sorry, bear me a second. This book tells of the time of when a gentleman called Eoven. Eoven was a great warrior, a mighty warrior, and a defender of the people. He was a representative of Lathander. and he stood strong with his shield before the people. And at his time of greatest need, when everything was in despair, he lifted his hand, and in anger, he raised it into a fist, and he flung it forwards. And a bolt of the finest divine light came streaking from that fist, and struck the enemy. At this moment, the enemy raised his hand, raised his head, looked up, and felt the voice of Lathander within his ears. He could do nothing but listen, as he was commanded to go elsewhere. As you read this book, you realize that channeling this magic might be something you can do too, and if you wish to prepare command at any point, it's now available for you. And don't worry, ain't no one got implants here. There's that one. He also tells you of something that he hopes you might do for the Temple of Lathander if you're returning to Sandringham. And if you are returning to Sandringham, there is... Please give me 1 second while I find it. There is a child called Shenson Lassiter of the Lassiter landhold. Shenson has one leg shorter than the other, and he's been struggling with this affliction since birth, and they finally managed to find something that might help. This oil has been commissioned from far, far away in the land of Gazellan in the northeast. And it has finally arrived, and they wish for you to take it back. It needs to be applied to the child's knee and ankle joints, and hopefully this will help his leg grow a little quicker.
And he's in Sandringham.
He is. He's one of the Sandringham humans.
I'll literally do that the first thing we get back.
Great. Penelope looks to you, and I see you've been given the book. Probably didn't introduce yourself, did you, Oliver? This is Oliver. He is the head priest of Lathander. He normally preaches at the larger temple in Lorvalen, but he's come to lend a hand for the week. Well, he's keeping an eye on me. She gives you a wink. Is there anything else you needed today, Natasha?
I think at this point, she would just go outside and volunteer and give food to people. But I think most importantly, she wouldn't just give food. I think Natasha is very much aware that sometimes people just need to be heard. So she would go out of her way to actually listen to them, ask them their stories, and
Definitely.
and make that connection so they know they're not alone.
Excellent. And as they tell you their tales, we shall leave you there. Don't worry, you won't be late. Chiavo!
Just want to say real quick, time check. Have we got enough time to handle the stuff that...
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You've only got a day in the world, and you will have another day. We'll have another day in Harbondon at the end, so we'll get to some places. I'll cut you off as and when it's necessary. It depends how fast you can speak, Jamal. So all fingers crossed. Where are you going?
Right, first things first, Mage's Guild.
Yeah, cool. Off you go. Trotting on over, you see Tomnik outside, deep blue robes. You see Sebastian enter in. Tomnik looks up at you. Oh, Chiavo, excellent. Good day. What can I do for you?
Hey, I've managed to have a little bit of a breakthrough in some ways with my magic, and I'm looking to learn more. Any chance I could maybe learn some things from the guild?
Arek's on duty. Go inside, speak to Arek at the desk. He'll help you. And
Okay.
as you head in, you'll see Arek. He's not the mage with the ringlets that Sebastian spoke to. Arek is further through, and Miguel will gesture for you to go through. Arek is an older gentleman. He looks at you. Ah, Chiavo, can I help you?
Hi. I've had a little bit of a moment, and
A moment.
I-
Panic? Worry? Doubt?
no, something
Lack of self-worth?
something a bit more incredible than that.
Incredible. Have you... I'm lost. Please, explain more.
So, I've made some breakthroughs with my spellbook, and
With your
I'm
spellbook?
now.
We don't normally make breakthroughs with our spellbook. We normally put spells in the spellbook. What breakthrough have you
I
made?
know, but I don't know how to explain this best, but I've came across something quite incredible, and I now really need to focus hard on my studies of magic. Any chance that I could learn some things over the coming weeks from some people within the guild?
Possibly. What breakthrough spellbook? Get it out. What do you want about? Show me this breakthrough of yours.
This book talks.
Say what?
I know.
The book talks.
Yes.
Did you enchant it to do so?
No.
Well, what does it say?
Interesting things. It was...
Everything's interesting when it's a book that's talking. What does it say?
No.
He takes out this small sort of bell and he rings it. And down from a desk behind him comes a gnome that sort of walks with a cane. He's got really long hair, right down. He's braided it into his beard, right down to sort of his chest, his navel. He's only sort of 2.5 foot tall and gets down and he looks up at you. Good day. You called Eric? Eric says, Carvo's spellbook is talking to him.
Honestly, I'm not sure whether to be worried or amazed as well.
Your spellbook is talking to you. I'm assuming you did not ask it to do so.
I didn't know.
Brilliant. Get it out. Put it on the desk here.
I'll do so.
Don't believe we've had the pleasure of making each other's acquaintance. You'd be Chiavo, I know that. You're the Leonin mage. Probably should have introduced myself in the past. You may call me Zerkis. I run the guild.
Zerkis. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Excellent. And as you put it down, he wraps the book on the head. The stick. And the book. What is it? And Torin, as you're as you're thinking about like what is going on and what's happening, the book sort of spouts out, yes, I've been put into the hands of this idiot. No, I can't be transferred in ownership. Yes, I am not interested in being studied. And then it repeats sort of what it told you earlier about previously being in the hands of Mercutius, the moon elf, a great mage. At this point, Zerkis sort of looks up and Mercutius, he was an incredible wizard almost a millennia ago. This is a book out of its time. This is marvelous. I have a book about spellbooks like these. He concentrates for a moment and then puts his hand out, and after a while a book comes speeding down the corridor and just lands in his hand. And he hands the book over to you. Do some reading on the topic. They say you're an excellent scholar. You were meant to be apprenticed to... Oh, someone or other, weren't you? Who are you apprenticed to?
Yes. Where's his name again?
I don't know, you tell me.
I've got to have a look real quick, because I've got his name somewhere, haven't we?
Gwalin? Gwalin would make the most sense. Elven mage?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the name, yeah.
Actually, I'm meant to be approached to Gwalin. We have suspicions that he might have blown himself up in Yarkon.
He
might be waiting a while.
What?
Blown himself up. He was always one for experimenting with the mixtures of alchemy and evocation magic. Those two should not be combined. I did tell him many times. Anyway, I could apprentice you to D. Ellen, but by this point it seems you've been waiting long enough and you're perfectly capable of doing your own studies. This is Arik talking. Perhaps we should skip on the apprenticeship and instead write you in as a full member of the Mages Guild and you can start doing your own studies. Would that work for you? Zerkis looks up and... But if nothing else, I think this spellbook might be able to teach him better than us. I think that's good. I need to rest and think on this. Thank you, Chiavo, for bringing this to our attention. If I might I touch it?
By all means.
He places his hand on it, and you see sort of gold light sort of broil the book, and then sort of rise and go into his temples. Interesting. Doesn't keep recollection of a previous owner's spells. Here. I do have something for you. You're going to be learning, you might as well take this. And he gives you 2 scrolls, and both of them are of assimilate knowledge.
Oh,
You won't be able to cast these till you're level 3, but such is
okay.
life. Cool. And that'll come in useful in your studies, young man. I wish you luck. I must take my rest. And he conjures a floating disc, and he steps onto it, and he rises up the staircase. Eric looks at you. So, full induction. Your name? Kiavo of the Duskmane Pride, right? I do remember this.
Yes.
Somewhere I make a note somewhere. Excellent. If you need any spell components, you can speak to the Mystic Emporium and get a discount from us. And yeah, I think. Is there anything else I can do for you?
For the time being, I don't think so. I'm just glad to know that I'm not at any risk at this moment. Thank you.
Oh, you probably are. I mean, most learning mages find a way of damaging themselves permanently, but well, best of luck. And
Not from at least what I'm holding. So yeah, thank you.
and I'm sure the book is harmless to your physical state. I'm not sure about your ego. Good luck. And with that, where is what is Kevo doing?
So I'd like to have a little look outside and take a look at what the Mystic Eye is. I want to see.
You head over to the Mystic Eye.
Yeah.
As
just
you
have
look
a
at the
little
Mystic
look.
Eye, there is one single eye above the door. It is purple and gold and blue and green and orange and silver, and then it goes back to purple and gold and orange and blue and silver, and then it keeps rotating through these colours, and you find yourself almost hypnotized by it, as a voice breaks you out of your reverie. You're going to come in anyway. You might as well do it now.
Okay, I'll step on in and.
Leon and Mage. Unusual. And a woman who is cross-legged in the middle of the air.
Well.
Yep, she's just sat, floating in the air.
Oh.
Cross-legged, head on her hand. She has her eyes closed, and she greets you. Leon and Mage, well, your curiosity is struck. What do you seek at the Mystic Eye?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I just wanted to know a little bit more about this place. It's
Are you a seer?
I'm not, no. But the
Then,
art seems fascinating.
Unless you wish your fortune told. I don't know that we can be much use to you, but... Well, today on duty we have Cyrus. He can tell you of simple things. Auguries, whether things bode well for you if you have a specific question. We have... Where is she? Okay. We have Leovran. Leovran is an elven gentleman. He can tell you of far distant futures. He might perhaps tell you if a career path or a long-term goal is likely to come to fruition. And if neither of those interest you, we have Darsa. Darsa is a dwarf who is most talented, and she can tell you things that you might feel you might not know to ask. She has the odd answer for those who come unbidden. Nevertheless, the price is 6 silver if you wish your fortune told.
6 silver. Okay, regrettably,
right?
I do not have 6 silver at this moment in time. But
Perhaps in time. You wish
Thank
to
you
learn of
for-
our arts, however, do you? I can't promise you'll be apt, but you might as well give them a go. She takes out a small scroll, and it gives a list of services that they give. But you can also read it as a list of things that they do to tell the future. This includes reading the herbs of tea, crystal ball, dream walking, planescaping, shared journeys, thought detection, recovering memories. These are the sort of services they provide. So they can be the sort of things that if you find yourself apt to any of them, you'd know that this is the place to go. Other than that, it is merely a fortune tellers.
fair enough. Well, I'm very happy to have learned some more about this. Thank you.
My name is Saren Drellin. I don't think we see you for at least a couple more months, but I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. And did I introduce myself?
She introduced you to you.
Very well. Of course, the seer would know that.
Oh, it's more just the fact that you're the one Leonin mage in Harbondon. It's not that
And-
big a city.
Yeah.
She
fair.
knows that the mage is gold. Anyway, where are you headed next?
Right. Next one on the list. Let's have a little
It will
look
be
at
your
the Enchanter's
final
Emporium.
visit, I'm afraid.
Huh?
It will be your final visit.
Final visit. Oh, well, in that case, let's
today.
go to the Apothecary Collective for the time being.
Okay, you head into the Apothecary Collective. And as you get in, you see a rather bulbous woman. She's round as it gets, and quite short. She's a dwarf. She's got huge round cheeks. She looks over the table at you through her spectacles. Good day. What can I do for you?
Hello. My name's Kiavo. I'm aspiring to become a
Learning! Next door
Yes.
down. Second left. Off you go.
Okey-doke.
As you get down to the second door, you see this very homely looking woman in a long apron with loads of pockets. She's got a pair of sort of gloves on, and she looks up at you and... Apprentice? Yes? Is that you?
Yes.
Here's your apprentice.
My,
Excellent. My name's Marlo. Can I take your name, please?
my name's Kiavo.
Kiavo. Interesting. Very good. Any knowledge? You an alchemist? Just starting? What's the plan? Where are you at?
Starting, looking to get a little more proficient in the craft.
Okay, well, ingredients are over there in that cupboard. You'll find them all labelled on the wooden boxes. Please don't take any away, we will know. But if you are going to use them in the current spells here, all we ask is that when you make your potions, that you make the ones on our work order up there. And she shows you a black chalkboard up the top, where there are work orders. They're currently waiting for 278 lesser potions of healing and 176 lesser potions of stamina. At the moment, those are the only potions requested, that's the word I'm looking for. Fantastic. She shows you that there are a couple of recipes. They're only the very simple ones. Wild sagewood and a fedra leaf will allow you to to make a healing potion, and bloodgrass and emetic wax will allow you to make a stamina potion. If there were other emetic wax, if there were other potions to be made, you might assume that they might teach you. But at the moment, it is just sort of a dive-in practice and make potions for them, which will give you lessons. And it's fair to say, I think Kiavo is probably the sort of person to get lost in doing something like this.
Yes.
So as he starts sort of reading through and making his measurements and trying to get the right ones, you notice a couple of other people come in, but none of them really talk. They're all kind of spectacled youngsters wanting to learn the arts, or younger women wanting to create certain potions. And as you finally sort of realize that it's approaching evening, you head on over to Furlocks. And that is where we will end, because next episode we are going to play as a group. Isn't that exciting? But this was, I think, a necessity for our characters to get some stuff out of the way. At the end of that episode, a couple of little things. First of all, one DM inspiration. Natasha, the moment of just listening to their stories and taking the time to be a listener really captured my imagination as a budding healer and an innkeeper's daughter, so please, take that. Secondly,
Thanks, boss.
Mr. Mortally Wounded that wasn't quite mortally wounded, take your point in Constitution, Torin. That was a thing. You will also gain a point in leatherworking. That exciting. Let's double down. Kiavo, you will take 1 point in your alchemist supplies.
Fuck yeah.
And you may also take 1 point in Arcana. Hennick. I would like to give you a point in something talky, but I'm not quite sure which you might think. From your sort of common folk chatting. I'm not sure it's persuasion, perhaps insight? The listening skill. I don't know which one on D&D Beyond says listening ability. But yeah.
Yeah, you've already got me boosted in insight way above what my wisdom would.
Oh, have I already boosted your insight?
Yeah, a little. Not, it's only one
Just
extra
one,
in there.
yeah. Skill of the listener.
Because I forgot I was
Perhaps
proficient.
in that case, maybe we'll say perception, just sort of noticing things about people. But I will say that it's mostly, I will only ever ask you to roll a perception check to sort of see things about people, to notice the little things they're doing, the way, which I suppose is part insight, but you have to see it
Yeah.
to then incite it, right?
True.
So yeah, I think perception is what I'll go with that, but listening
Alright.
primarily.
Mhm.
And to Sebastian. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Somebody rolled a nat 20 earlier and I can't remember. Oh, I gave you the medicine point there and then, didn't I? Yes, brilliant. Okay, just before I forget that. And then to Sebastian. Sebastian, you went where? I haven't got any notes for you on giving you anything. You went to the Seekers Guild and the Mages Guild and Furlock. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. I know exactly what you're getting and you're not getting it now. Right. Brilliant. So, unfortunately, Sebastian, this episode you gain nothing, but you are going to gain it over dinner next episode. So, don't worry. I knew I had something for you, but it's not... Oh, there goes the pen. Okay. And we come to MVPs. Torin. Rico, your MVP, please, for the day.
So, I wanted to ask whether Joe was going to be spitting a verse every session, because otherwise, the MVP is just always going to Joe.
That is entirely up to him. He's hopefully not going to have to recap in the future because we're not going to have episodes not on stream.
I mean, I think I'll always probably be working on something. May get to a point where it's like, oh, when there's a song of rest that needs to be played, or when there's an actual moment, then maybe I'll stick them then.
Okay,
We'll see.
okay. Well, then for today's session, definitely Joe's.
Yeah.
Joe's intro.
I think that one goes without saying. I can't give DM inspiration to somebody who still got it. But my God, that was good. It was brilliant. We really enjoyed that. So thank you. Speaking of which, Joe, your MVP.
Oh, well, not to continue focusing too much on me and my part of the story, but I really liked your Jeweler's Guild woman. I mean, the Rock Gnome was great because it was a real change up of voice and character, but the lady, it was such a perfect set of things that I hadn't thought of that made, they're just good ways of explaining things, right? That those certain materials like know what they want to be and they tell their story themselves. That kind of stuff was perfect for making sense of this character getting into that. So.
Oh, thank you. They're based on a character called Amber in books by Robin Hobb. It's the middle series, the boat series. I can't remember the name of any of them specifically. Sea of Destiny, I think, is one of them. But she's a bead worker who sort of makes these beads by looking at the knot of the wood and seeing what it wants to become. And I've always thought that was such beautiful imagery. So yeah, all good ideas are stolen. But yes, thank you. I really appreciate that. Sebastian, Josh, your MVP for today.
Mine is all the way from the beginning, when you said that the guy hands that woman a baby, and mine on Rico's face is just...
It's that child that he was looking after when she went out banditing, and yeah, okay. It was meant to soften the blow of losing the bandits. Okay? That was that was the main purpose. But thanks, Natasha, Bruno, your MVP, please.
I think that definitely softened the blow because it was one of my MVPs as well. It really changed Natasha's perception. I really enjoyed the rock gnome. The voice felt very ominous and mystical. And I was thinking, are we sure this is just a merchant? Because I feel like
that's not what I was going for. I was just going for this sort of slow man who's a bit of a rock himself. But okay, I like it.
But also, my MVP will have to be Torin for once again making a conscious effort to speak to Natasha, because otherwise she will literally stay quiet for every second of the day in the corner of the cart. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Jamal, your MVP.
I am gonna have to go with Sebastian getting absolutely abused by the guy in the adventurers.
Well, I will just follow suit with my MVP straight away. That my MVP was you getting abused by a book. Yes. You know, you all have. I've been waiting to say the line as soon as you started inspecting your scroll. You've got it upside down, you blithering idiot. Since day one, and I'm like, at some point, and then I suddenly realized I don't think Jamal's remembered he's got this scroll. So that was why I brought it up more directly. But good. I'm glad you enjoyed.
This is in the wrong place. That's why.
I'm glad you enjoyed the Adventurers Guild man who hates all magic and mages.
Well, I
Yeah.
definitely won't tell him I'm a fucking wizard then.
I think it was a fun episode to get some flavor of like how Bondon is, and obviously the little pressure on me. I spent a lot of time playing lots of different people, so I hope that there was enough differentiation, because sometimes all the merchants just feel the same. So I hope there was enough spacing between them. Obviously, we spent a lot of time one-to-one today. I hope not to do that very often, but I think at some point we needed to get the second episode 1 of grounding of like, what do our characters have an interest in and where would they go? Because at the moment, you're not a party as such as you are a bunch of people who jumped on a wagon together.
Sure.
So, yeah,
Yep.
perhaps I think dinner at Furlock's is going to be great fun. I can't wait. However, we are going to end there. So, without further ado, let me have a little look. Are we going to be raiding today? Are we going to be raiding today? We are going to be raiding today. Today we are going to raid our friends Asgard's D&D Adventures, if I can spell that. Asgard's D&D Adventures. These guys are great. They run loads and loads of different campaigns. I think we're seafaring today, but I could be wrong. Sorry if I am. I think it might be seafaring. It might be the Wayward Path today. It's one of the two. Anyway, so please go show them some love, show them some support, and give them some appreciation from the Duck Pond. As for Beldania, we will return next Sunday, and we look forward to doing so. If you want to find out when we're live next, our next official stream will be on Thursday, which will be the second episode of our Wizarding School, or the official episode 1 of the Academy of Shah. However, you can catch us on our Brotherhood channel, which is the... oh, that's not going to work, actually, because he's changed his name. But if you're on the Discord, you'll find us doing Cassiopeia tomorrow night.
The Obsidian Traveler Co.
Obsidian Travelers Co. Yes, but I'm not going to attempt to spell it and type it out. So, if you guys would like to say goodbye, I think we shall end there.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Until next time, folks.
See you
Catch you next
soon.
time.